Last Friday, I stopped by this ABC right up here.
Yes, my home ABC.
Yeah, on the way home to pick up some White Claw, and I love ABC Fine Wine and Spirits. They are great. They have tons of craft beer, local craft beer.
A lot of Florida craft beer, and, whatever you're looking for. I just love going to ABC Fine Wine and Spirits, and they have their humidor component. So if you are a cigar-man and you are in need, well, you can go to thehumidor.com, and you can actually save some money using our promo codes.
Yep, it's promo code Tom and Dan. Save 20% off your order at checkout.
Yep.
And by entering that promo code, not only you save 20%, but it tells them that we sent you, so it helps us.
They love that kind of stuff, man. I mean, being visible now more than ever is extremely helpful for small businesses like this. And sometimes people forget that just because we have microphones, we're still as small as any business, you know? I mean,
and if you're going to shop at ABC or your local ABC, take a picture of what you bought or you in front of the store, put it on the BDM page. Even if you're like, hey, I don't want to put this on my Facebook page, I don't want my family knowing how much I drink. And so put it on the BDM page because we take those pictures, we show ABC, like our listeners are going to ABC, and
sometimes you got to let them know. So it's our good friends at ABC Fine Wine and Spirits.
Hashtag TDABC when you go.
Live from the Streamline Mortgage Solutions studio, it's Orlando's own Tom and Dan.
Hello. This is your Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan program. We hope that you will find our presentation precise, joke heavy, and just right. Thanks.
Welcome to the Friday free show of A Mediocre Time.
Oh, man. Good morning, or what is it, afternoon? It's good afternoon, everybody. Hello. Welcome to another A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan podcast. I am Daniel.
I'm Tom. Samantha's here.
Hello.
Seth is on his way. He's late. Seth would be a bad employee, right?
Yeah.
Because he means what he called me. He's like, I'm sorry.
Does he care about doing this, or does he not?
Does care. He cares.
Although, yeah, he did call to let you know he was going to be tardy.
So it wasn't like a no-call, no-show.
So
have we? I don't think we've ever had that. I don't think we've ever had... No, we've never had that.
Well, I mean, again, it's kind of like a Kramer... The Kramer bit where it's like he gets fired and they're like, I don't even work here. You know what I'm saying?
I thought you were talking about Kramer.
So was I, and I was like, he was late all the damn time.
Yeah, oh my God. He used to drive me crazy.
Inward Kramer.
Yeah.
Wow, I don't think you should say it like that either.
No, okay, sorry.
Now I'm really confused.
He said the...
I was like, I don't think I know, dude.
I'm sorry. Anyway.
Back out of it.
That might be the single greatest 1-minute intro that we've ever done, where we walked into the show and I'm like, well,
he screamed the N-word. He did. It ruined his career.
He did, but then you just screamed N-word Kramer.
No, but he said N-word Kramer.
Well, that's his nickname.
And you know what? And I'm not even mad at you. I'm more mad at me for thinking that I knew, what you meant. You know what I mean? Welcome to the show, everybody.
Right.
Hi.
If you order any piece of merch today, we're giving out the remaining... OLE koozies from the event that I found in the back of our storage unit because I cleaned out our storage unit.
I think we had shame punted them in there, right?
Do you
remember? And I had logged this to talk about this morning. Do you remember the drive home? Do you remember the? I do. Because I was shit-faced. I remember. Oh, it was bad. It's shameful.
Well, I drove home and embarrassed, and I'm like, well, that's it.
And I remember, I couldn't go to bed. I remember I couldn't go to sleep. I remember it was one of the only time that, and this is a true story, one of the only time that I've laid my head on my pillow and wished myself to death. Seriously.
Do that all the time.
No, not like this. I used that trick you do when you're trying to like relax, or you tense up every muscle in your body, and then when you let go, you actually kind of relieve some pressure or chill out a little bit. This was like I was literally in tune with every cell of my body, wishing myself to death. I was so embarrassed, man. But yeah, you can get the last remaining. Their collector's items are. We're going to tell you that at least at this point, right? These koozies.
Yeah, one would call it that.
Yeah, I mean,
and the opening,
we gave them out that
layer.
night. It's 5 to this day today.
Yeah.
The top
Which,
layer,
by the way, we'll give them out today and tomorrow because we promoted tomorrow too.
We're bad at that.
Yeah.
Which goes along with it.
We are small team.
On brand.
We're fucking some things up. What I like about this, and I hope the first maybe 8 or 9 people that get these know what I mean, but the top 9 koozies are really dusty and gross.
There's Chex Mix dust on them.
Those are the ones you want.
Yeah.
Because those are the ones that were like in the bathroom where I peed in the shower drain.
Yeah.
They
with
were
the blood.
Toilet.
With the blood toilet. Memories.
Yeah.
We drove past that the other day, and I did get flashbacks.
It's a mega church now, right?
Yeah.
That's fitting.
It's weird. And they have
They painted it like all black for a church, which I thought was odd too. But
Yeah.
It's a satanic church.
You never told me about that?
yeah.
Edward Kramer told me about that.
They had to have bought that place for the property value in the future, right?
Yes.
And like a tax write-off or anything. That's how churches get
we should
rich,
start
by the
a
way.
church for real.
I mean, what do we need to do?
Holy Land's for sale, isn't it?
I mean, how do they judge whether or not our dedication to whatever deity we have is authentic?
Scientology ruined that. They got that religious loophole, and then the government locked it up after that. But they basically manipulated the system to become a tax-free entity to fucking make all the money.
We've talked about this before. Would it be impossible to start a new religion now, or did
No.
they just make it harder?
We can do it.
Because how do
made
they-
it
We already
extreme.
have followers.
Because basically they're like, well, you're not doing that again. That's what they're going to tell us.
We give back to charity.
Because
Come on.
every business doesn't want to pay taxes. So if we can name ourselves some religious organization and the
let's do
tax
it.
exempt, because nothing would change. We'd still be able to get all of our income, or like not income, but pay ourselves.
Sure.
Like all the salaries would be the same. And then we just have to spend all our money. So there's no, the business isn't profitable at the end. And you spend it all on a goddamn real estate.
Churches
and then
always
get
buy
mega rich.
they always buy the equipment for like their sanctuary. You know, like a mixing console and then big TVs and nice microphones.
I guess I don't even know.
Wait,
We should
John Oliver started a religion here in Florida?
I think he did it as a joke.
Kind of like what we're talking about, I
but-
believe.
It's legit, though?
Oh, I don't know. I don't know anything about
I don't
it.
know if you
Christine
can get-
mentioned it in
Yeah,
our Twitch
that's
chat
interesting.
room.
I don't know if you can get be tax exempt and stuff, because then there's the whole
There's an entertainment purpose to his too that I think would like almost negate it. By the way, we're live on Twitch right now. Speaking of entertainment purposes, twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live, and everything we do on Twitch, I upload a few hours later and throw it on YouTube for you. Just search Tom and Dan Live if you'd like to see the video component to this.
2 more other things. We're going to be out at Satellite Beach at the Villains local only Surf Fest.
Yeah.
It's 2-day event. Me and Daniel will be out there. The Eric Merchman, he's going to be out tomorrow and Sunday, and we're going to hit up the tent around 1 o'clock tomorrow.
Yeah, right around noon or 1, I'm going to be walking around out there. I know you're going to meet me to the tent around 1. So, hey, if you guys are looking for something to do and possibly want to see a cool surfing competition, we will be out there.
And then noon is a cutoff for our auction, our charity auction. So if you want to bid on anything, again, it's tomanddangiveback.com.
It's getting cutthroat in there about that boat trip.
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I knew
saw
that would happen. I knew the truck and the boat trip to me are the ones that, that's the money.
Well, I saw...
Well, apparently the goddamn flight simulation is. It's over $500.
I mean, it's going to be fun. Don't get me wrong. I mean, we're going to have a good time, and I'm going to, I'll even buy a new plane that day. I'll let you pick out the plane we're going to buy, but I still got to figure out how to do that. Normally I do that nude, so it's going to be a little weird. It's the first time I'm flying with pants on.
Yeah, that's fine.
Normally I'm in some sort of like loungewear or pajamas.
But I saw
a lot of my baby fat gear that I still hang on to it.
Is Tony still trying to get the interview on the auction?
What's happening now?
Oh, I don't know. Tony
The
was bidding.
studio interview with you.
Tony
Remember?
Palmiotti
Yeah, he
was bidding
He
on it?
was bidding.
Is that how bad morale is here, that we have actual employees bidding to be interviewed?
He wants to come in and tell stories, and he feels that we've slighted him
told
throughout the
him he
years.
could
We did
call-
a Chatting with the Master.
We did,
I
yeah.
told
But he had more stories. He's like, I got
told
more.
him that if he called 1-844-TOMNDAN and left his stories as a voicemail, I will play them.
Oh, I like that.
I'm serious.
I like that.
I
Like
have
a
told
series of
Tony.
stories.
This is not the first time I've told him, like, look, we don't want you in the studio, but you can call. You can call the number and just leave a message, and we'll play it.
I saw some
I'll even
BDMs.
put music underneath it.
They posted on the BDM page, and they're actual like boat captains or whatever. And
Yeah.
apparently, captain. I thought it was by passenger, but there's also by tonnage or something, because two different BDMs. Like, I'm also 100-ton certified.
Yeah, I bet you are.
Excuse me?
That's what it was like a 100-ton certified captain.
Yeah, yeah. Thanks for checking in, Izzy. Great job.
And then they're like, I want to bid on it just so I can go there and look how horrible of a job
at
Tom
Ryan.
does. And I'm like, oh, I'll tell. Like, I'm not embarrassed by that. I tell you. I'm like,
The reason you know is because he tells us.
Yeah, exactly. He's open
like,
about it.
I'll crash into the dock.
It's no
or-
secret.
I'll have you be like, hey, you drive. I'll get shit faced.
Yeah, you're Mr. Tonnage. You
Anyway.
drive.
So we got a new song by Jakal.
Yeah, we do. Jack, like, this is a weird. It's like a weird phenomenon. I feel like for me and you, because normally we're not like, we don't have like parody guys that send us stuff. You know, like, that's a new concept for me. I'm that guy. You know, like, I guess Pariah Mike, but I know him, you know, like, so we have this guy, Jakal, who sends in songs, and I like the fact that he's not like my best friend or anything. I like the fact that
This is old school radio.
It feels very
I
much
like
like,
it,
and I'm going to say what it feels like, because this is our reality, but it feels very much Howard Stern-y. Like, he's like, hey, we got a new, Sal sent us, what is the tape? And you hear the, like, put the tape in. And then they put it in, and it's like, Robin's got some big old titties. And I'm like, ooh, 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 and they laugh, and ho, ho,
That's how you do it.
ho. And then Jackie Joke Man, ho, ho. That whole thing, like, I don't know. I've got some serious nostalgia rooted in this, man. So we have we have a new song from the Jakal, and it's called Tom's Balls.
You think
and Seth Petrozelli here, everybody. He walked in.
What is that beard? What is that?
Oh my God.
Mini Hogan.
Hey, everybody, Wario's here.
It's because he got that big daddy motorcycle.
It's a Marcelio.
It's too thick.
No, I wanted it thick.
It's off-putting.
The mustache, you gotta shave it down.
Seriously.
It's gonna be thinner on
You
top.
look like a pedophile.
Really?
A little bit. Yeah.
I did it to scare. I did it to scare Tracy. Really.
Well, there you go. I mean, it all adds
That's
up.
a pedophile's do to little girls.
Yeah.
On brand.
You look like you've been eating the Sandman's butthole.
Mustache shaming.
Okay, I have to get some air back in me. Okay, so all right, Seth's here, everybody, with his new look.
I wanted something. I was in the shower and I looked in the mirror. I was like, I want to see something different.
Okay, all right.
There's
Hey,
probably something deeper to that.
Don't beat me up, man. All right, it's fine. It looks fine. It's good. You look good.
So,
You look healthy.
Seth, you want to hear a parody song? You like this shit?
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
It's
shit.
making fun of Tom.
Yeah,
so.
it's making fun of
Okay.
Tom.
I haven't heard
And
this.
that'll make me happy.
I believe this particular song is addressing the fact that we were on Inside Edition, and you were wearing
Right.
some really tight
Dukes.
and your balls were visible.
Daddy
No,
Dukes.
well, the
In
pouch, I guess.
Yeah.
You know,
You're about to be 40. It's going to
You
get
have
bigger.
a, you
didn't
have
know
a
we were
fat
gonna-
pouch, dude. You got got fat
and
balls.
you were like sitting way back with you were man spreading on
yeah,
me.
you had fat balls, and they did that thing that balls can do where they flattened out. Your balls were flat like a sleep mask.
Well,
you know, like they were.
it was last
They
minute.
were big flat sleep mask
because
balls.
when we went on to do it, then it was our normal
But
camera
I put
angles.
but I put everything when they asked us to go to the couch. Everything was
Yeah.
on the TV, so you could see it. And I felt
Well,
like
because, no,
I
I
didn't
thought-
know if you were doing. For a split second, I thought, oh, he's doing a bit, and then I'm like, oh, too dumb to do a bit. Am I right?
Yeah,
Was
He
I
didn't
right?
have his glasses on. He couldn't see his balls from across the room.
Well, and I'm not used to sitting on the couch, and then I don't
Me
know the
neither,
camera
yeah.
angle of that. So
Or you see it every day.
I
and
see
like,
it
look,
every time I'm in
yeah,
here.
he sits like that all the
I
time.
literally
There's
see
the
it.
main camera angle of the couch. See?
yeah.
There it is. Like, you don't know that? You've never seen that before?
Okay.
That's all new. This is all new to you.
I'm not thinking because usually you can't see
Sorry,
me
that
from
was
the way.
disrespectful. You didn't deserve that.
The camera can't. Yeah.
I'm
The
very
camera
aggressive.
Me and Seth can.
No,
Or
I know. Well, I
anybody
do that on purpose.
Anybody on the couch, which is not.
Yeah, that is. I've been embarrassed.
No, we got Indy coming in soon.
Oh yeah, she definitely.
Seth looks like he's playing Paul Senior in a biopic. It's like he looks like the Paul Senior, the younger years when he's not tearing the door down.
He's just,
You gotta do more than the spiderweb bike. Where's the spiderweb bike?
He's got two infants. One with shaggy, one fat, one with shaggy hair. The other one looks like him. All right.
All right,
So-
parody song, Tom's Balls.
God, I wish we had a screenshot of the actual image.
Okay, here we go. Here's the song.
Can you turn my microphone up? Okay, check 1, 2. Huh. Yeah. Huh. Here we go. I went to work the other day in my best business, Dukes. A day or two before we'd done a killer interview. Before the show could even start, the word was coming through. Somebody found Bob Saget dead in his hotel room. Overconfident as usual, I said, take that telephone call. Some lady from the news wants to have a word with us all. With Samantha on my left and Danny Denny on my right, I manspread to the camera. My dukes were super tight. The fish see my balls. Twitch sees my balls. YouTube sees my balls. Can you see my balls? TMZ sees my balls. ABC sees my balls. But Inside Edition's got the best view of them all. The news sees my balls. Can you see my balls? If I move just this way, do you get a better view of my balls? The crow says that I've got teeny tiny little balls.
Oh, wow.
But I've got the biggest balls of them all.
That's pretty damn good. Wow. Well done, Jakal.
Comes
Thank
from
you.
a good
Wow.
song.
Well
I'm
done.
not familiar with the parody song.
Oh no.
Well done.
Yeah. I don't know. That's some old man shit, right?
Oh,
Me and Sam
he's
are
firing
I mean,
back.
I enjoyed
firing
it.
back.
I'm not.
I-
We're our 30s.
I didn't recognize it.
We're the only
Firing
people in this
back.
room that are still in their 30s.
That's true, yeah.
I'm just stating a fact.
It's honestly, you guys don't know. I know you know.
I don't.
and I know you don't.
I don't.
I've heard it.
It's AC/DC.
Yeah.
What song?
Balls of the
Big,
I don't know.
I think it's
the
Big
name of it.
Balls.
Big balls. Yeah.
Big Balls.
Don't know
They
it.
got balls to the wall. They do a lot of ball songs.
AC/DC, so I
I'm
try not to
AC/DC
listen
is
to
the
I'm not a
them.
fan
number
of
one
AC/DC
balls band, right? They're the balls band because they do.
Yeah.
They do. She's got me bad. Wait, she got you by the balls. She got you by the balls.
Oh, they
There's-
sing a lot about balls?
Yeah, hold on. Now you're sending me down a balls.
They're
thing, yeah.
they were big on the Pop Warner like football field. Like everyone came out to AC/DC songs. like,
God.
like Back in Black.
Well, and that age, and that
yeah,
time
yeah.
frame,
I guess
that was
so.
a popular.
I guess so. That was
they were
popular.
popular.
I guess so. I didn't think about that.
Yeah. If,
I think about him being old just back then too. For some
Is
reason.
AC/DC like considered old man shit, right?
Yes.
That is? It's
That's
considered
dad
old-
rock.
It's dad rock?
yeah, it's dad
Well,
classic.
young
rock.
dad rock.
Well,
Young Dad.
When did AC/DC
Yeah.
at the height of AC/DC was what are we talking?
90s.
It's got you by the balls, right? She's got you
Earlier
by
than
the
that.
balls.
Mid 90s.
Mid 90s.
No,
No way.
AC/DC is way earlier than that, right?
Oh, yeah.
But their height.
Here it is. Here it is.
No, their height was in the 80s.
This
right?
is the one I
No,
know.
they did.
They were formed in
Oh,
1973, bro.
Yeah, they're old. This is classic rock as it gets.
Yeah,
But like, this is the one I knew, and I got caught playing this,
But
and my
they were
mom
later
was not very happy.
Seth thought they were 90s band.
early 90s. Yeah.
No,
Yeah, like
They were
what's,
still
what's the
old
movie
men.
Back in
What's
Black
the movie?
come out?
What's the movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger where he's in a movie, but the
Last
kid,
Action Hero.
they did the soundtrack to that. That's early 90s, and they were like the peak. They're right
Yeah, but
there.
that's when Aerosmith had to come back too. They're still old as fuck. I feel
Yeah,
like.
they're just the
Maybe-
classic rock.
Okay, I just thought of it as my childhood.
They were classic rock in the
Yeah,
90s.
but you're old.
What?
Okay, I
young,
gotta-
young old is what I'm
I
saying.
just got to hear the chorus for this.
Young dad old.
Back in Black came out in 1980.
Yeah.
It's
That's what I'm saying.
old.
okay.
At 80,
Okay,
before
hold
I was
on.
born.
Hold on, here we go.
I'm gonna start
He's one
listening to
of
this now while I have
the
this.
most annoying voices of all time.
I can do it.
It does sound like a crow, a little bit crowy.
I could do that. Like, I feel like
It's
if
a
you
good
put me
karaoke
on
song.
stage at AC/DC and I was like, and just did, if I just went, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel like that's pretty fucking good.
I'd have to look twice to make sure it wasn't you.
I don't think it. Yeah, I feel like if you couldn't see me,
I mean, besides a
if
giant
they were
crow.
just up there playing and I was behind the stage and they're like, oh, he doesn't want to be seen or something. I don't know what they tell the crowd. And I was just doing that. I think people would be like, yeah, he's doing it, but I can't see him, but that's him.
Are they
Okay,
still
maybe not.
doing something? Are they still playing?
No,
in some
because-
Technically
incarnation?
still together.
I don't think they are because I thought that
Someone passed, right?
No, the dude, not Bon Scott, he's dead.
It says
But
years active, 1973 to present.
the other guy that started singing for him that is local. Remember we saw him when we saw Billy Joel.
Oh,
Brian Johnson. Brian Johnson, he has so much hearing loss, much like Huey Lewis, that I don't think he can perform really anymore.
He got to buy the ball.
he trains your kids.
You gotta do it like that.
And by the way, if you take the average from 1973 to present, the average year is early 90s, so I am correct in saying
but that's
that
not when they were the most popular. That was the question.
they were popular.
Yeah, are you going to trust him with that? I can't even take you seriously. I can't even look at you.
Trust
You
me.
look like action wear Iron Man. I don't know.
I just almost called the cops because you looked at me like a pedophile.
I really can't look at you anymore.
It's
Like,
creepy.
I go like this, and I'm like, I can't do that.
You should see. Yeah, the dojo people freaked out too. Normally I have normally my mask is
unsettling.
on, but I had my mask off for a split second, and the kids go, "Sensei." I'm like, "Yeah."
Sensei!
Oh my God, our sensei's gay Iron Man. Sensei, ow. Why'd they say it like that?
Well, because there's little girls and little boys. They said,
You scared them, man. Why are you scaring
That's
them?
why I put the mask on. I was like, "Oh, sorry, hang on."
You're scaring the children.
And I put the mask on.
So, speaking of being old, this happened to me the other day, and my sons have been watching The Simpsons, right?
The newer ones or
No,
the reruns?
the reruns, because they put
I
them
said they're
on.
also watching Animaniacs, right?
Yes, yeah,
that's good.
but the new Animaniacs they
Right.
were watching, and then they somehow stumbled upon The
Good
Simpsons.
Lord, I thought you were like a new digital man.
No,
Like,
no,
they're watching The
I am.
Simpsons and
On
Animaniacs.
They're older than AC/DC.
Are they watching Amos and Andy and Andy Griffith and like Little Rascals?
I give them the like they can scroll through the endless scroll and pick what they want, and they land on The Simpsons.
I like that.
And then they started watching The Simpsons, and then
They're going to start telling you to eat their shorts.
Oh, you know what? I do support this now. Then,
Yeah.
that's a classic. He's the classic kind of jerk off kid, right?
So
Yeah.
now all they want to watch is YouTube, and all they want to watch is YouTube video games and that. But they only get to do that on Fridays and on the weekends, right? But,
Right.
So they just pick The Simpsons, and then so far they've been liking it a lot, which I liked. But I will tell you, it's hypocritical 100%, and this has got to be like this for everybody. Like, I like that they were watching The Simpsons, but the shit that's on The Simpsons is actually worse than the goddamn Preston and the video games and
Oh,
the
yeah.
YouTube stuff. Yo, yeah, the jokes
Like
are
the itchy and scratchy stuff, too.
Yeah.
Well,
Pretty
not-
violent.
yeah, the violence. I mean,
you don't care about the violence?
cartoony,
Homer made a glory hole joke, and then Tommy's like, "What's a glory hole?" And then I was
Yes. What'd you say?
Holy fuck! That ratcheted up real fast.
I could distract them.
God.
Like
I mean, it's technically not a kid's cartoon.
I know.
It never has been. In fact, I remember Tom. He wrote this on the list, and I remembered that I actually got in trouble for watching The Simpsons back when it was still part of the Tracy Ullman show. They would tack it on the end.
That's
I know. That's back when I was touring with AC/DC.
Yeah, okay.
But no, I remember watching it, and like it was like an adult show. It's never been a kid show.
No, I know. And
Common Sense Media recommends that children ages 10 and up should be able to view the show.
oh yeah, Tommy's on. He'll be 80.
Yeah, 10 years old is a
3
glory.
years away.
I think 10 years old is glory already.
Yeah.
You know, I
He's
agree
only in
with
the
that.
single digits still.
And so,
South Park next.
but no, I see South Park. It came out when I was older, so I equate it with I mean, I was like in high
97.
school and
I was in middle school.
and
It's
in
funny that-
college when South Park was popular. And I knew that was too far. But with Simpsons, I was like, they can get away with it.
Yeah.
But the jokes are adult, and it's and in the 90s, we're watching old episodes in the late 90s.
Yeah, they hit.
And the jokes they're doing are worse. And we'll get mad at some YouTubers or something for saying crap every once in a while. And
what? And then you gotta watch it.
Oh man,
you can't say crap.
Because
I'm
biased
as a father because we just let crap roll.
I watched Boys in the Hood when I was 8 years old, 7 years old.
I'll tell.
I think I actually said to Maisie this morning, "Will you get me my crappy Mountain Dew out of the fridge, please?"
We say crap. I mean, we curse all the time by accident and stuff. Which I try not to, but my wife's a dirty mouth, so she's the one that curses more.
I always forget to not curse in front of kids.
It's hard
because
I've learned better with the karate.
I don't even because I personally don't think it's a big deal. I'm just it's just words, but I understand that other people don't want.
I don't even say butt. I don't even say butt in front of them. Like when I say for knuckle push-ups, I say get your hips down and it's your butt.
Yeah, that's
get your
good.
hips down.
Well, your rump. There's other terms that
people are paying you to be responsible for.
I do say when I say sit Indian style, I go sit old style instead. I'm joking.
You can just say Chris Cross, but that's funny as hell. And that's coming from.
Okay, thank you.
So
I'll be here all day.
And it's not I've got friends that openly curse and they don't care in front of their kids, and I just tell, and they know I'm not that prude about it or overly protective, but I'm a hypocrite because I'll be like, I don't know what you're watching here on YouTube because I don't, what is this kid? Is he, what is he saying?
Right.
And meanwhile, I'm happy and I'm watching The Simpsons. We're all laughing, and it's way worse than any of the shit that the kids are playing on YouTube and the video game content, especially because what you can get away with in the 90s is more, way more abrasive, I would say, than what the content they're putting out now.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Well, but then some cartoons push the envelope.
Simpsons for sure.
But I
mean, even
now, if you look at a South Park, or if you look at a Family Guy, I don't think I think they still push the boundaries. But
those are also on cable, right?
Yeah, and they go for that. But Fox is still cable. Simpsons,
Fox isn't cable.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
Basic ass.
But
channel.
I think it might still be under the. I don't know.
They played it after it came on 8 p.m.
Yeah, it comes on later.
That's interesting. Yeah, I'm wrong on that, but I think
Family Guy and Simpsons are on the same exact network because that's where they cross back and forth sometimes.
No, you're right.
Family Guy's on TBS.
Yeah. See,
it used to be on Fox.
Yeah, it used to be on Fox. They left a while ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
but Family, Tommy liked
Hulu.
watching Family Guy for a while, and but those jokes were blatantly a little too far and over his head and stuff and so then The Simpsons, I was like, oh, it's fine, but and they're still watching it, it's fine, and I like it actually. Because I'm biased.
So what do you do when things like Glory Hole comes up? Do you just try and change the subject?
I'm
explain?
I tell them I don't even know.
It's a place for patriotic.
You just claim ignorance.
It's a place for patriotic people to look through and celebrate America.
I'm just I don't know something, and then it goes on. And he forgets, but it's it may be a bad thing
It's also a weird name for something that should be called anonymous dick sucking hole. Right? Glory hole to me, the patriotic thing I just came up with, I'm like, that makes a lot more sense. And if you told me, hey, I've got an anonymous dick sucking hole, I'd be like, all right, I know what that's about.
Or at least say DS hole or something like that. That way it's you still know, you can still say it.
I still don't think those things are real. I don't think they happen.
No.
Glory holes. I think they have a setup.
We have a map. We can try this
I think they do the setup. And what I mean is, you'll have a glory hole, and then people will come to the sex club, and it's like, hey, do you want to try the glory hole? But I don't think there's a gas station with a glory hole, and then there's some dude or lady in there who's just waiting like a troll under a bridge to suck dicks, which is what I want.
Yeah.
So, Seth,
sir.
I saw you post under the BDM post we were talking about earlier, the one we're doing for charity, and some boat captains were...
I was trying to underhand your charity.
Yeah, clowning me, and you're like, I'll do it for cheaper. And
no, not cheaper, free.
So you claim you do it for free, but you sold your boat. So raise your hand in this room if you own a boat. All right.
For those of you not on Twitch, only Tom is.
Are you freaking out? You sold your boat. You cut the weirdo hair.
Ask me next week. I'll have a boat in within a week or 2 weeks.
Oh, that's fast.
Yeah. Where are you? Have you ordered it?
No, I have one that I'm going to look at, or he's bringing down to me. It has
the king requires the boat's presence.
It has like 20 hours on it. So it's practically new.
We forgot to do this, but we talked about it when me and Daniel and Sam took a business road trip earlier this week.
We did.
In the car, we were talking about the auction.
We went to Twin Peaks.
And then we were talking about Seth selling his boat and then buying a new boat, right? After, how long did you own that boat?
It's 5 months.
5 months.
How many times did you go out on it?
A lot. I'd say 4 or 5. No, 5 or 6 times.
Okay, about 5
once a
times.
month.
Once a month.
5 months.
Once a month.
I know what Tom
It
told
was definitely
you.
once a month.
And sold it for the same boat.
For a more expensive boat.
More expensive, newer version.
How much is a new boat? Come on.
Close to 80K.
Oh, yeah,
my
80K.
fucking God.
God damn.
So
That hurts my chest.
So we did say, I'm like,
I'm trying to talk him down.
Why? Why?
Yeah, I would
80,000.
I would try to talk him down too.
So you bought a $50,000 boat. 5 months later, you sell it for an $80,000 boat.
What
It's
is the-
simple math, dude. I don't know what your problem
So
is.
what is $30,000 better about
Right.
the new boat than
Okay.
the old boat?
This one, I can push a button and start it.
That's it.
You know, I see that. You know what? I'm glad I asked.
So then I started talking out loud in the car, and I was like, well, Seth can't be that rich. So hold on. Let me start looking at this.
He's pretty rich.
And then,
he got that $80,000 2 weeks boat money.
Yeah, but then
you ain't got that.
I started going through my head, and then I was like, we should research this on the internet because
The internet doesn't get. You did this before with me.
No, the internet, it tells all, dude. There is no secrets. The internet knows everything about you. And also, I was like, I can pretty much garner how much money Seth has just
you
from
can
the
get a
internet.
good idea?
Well, I look at the UFC fights,
Yeah.
how much he made off Kimbo fight, and then
Investments,
how much
businesses,
Well, the
what he
investments, I don't know. All I know is the
It's all
jungle.
online.
You don't
It's
know.
all online.
Oh, we can look up his rental properties.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Property appraisers, start getting some addresses.
So we'll go through all your rental properties. We'll go through your business. We'll go through how much money you made for your fights, because that's all public record, right? How much money you made on Ultimate Fighter.
How many times you
I didn't make any money.
They didn't pay you nothing?
No.
This is just for promotions?
No, it was all bullcrap. Well, they paid us like $100 a week or something ridiculous, something stupid.
Like the minimum? Oh, my
Yeah, it was awful. We didn't make anything.
That's terrible.
Yeah, no, I know. But I did do a real estate deal while I was there, and they weren't going to let that happen because there was no supposed to be no outside contact.
Right.
But I got my people to send a contract through. The producers come to me like, you got to sign this. This is your real estate thing you're doing. I'm like, okay, cool. So I did my little deal on the side, which is kind of nice. So I made some money while I was on there from a real estate deal.
All right.
Right before the economy
That's pretty
took a
cool.
So anyway, I started like just an overview of figuring out how much Seth has, and I don't know if it's enough to be flippantly buying an $80,000
So
boat.
you're trying to give him life advice?
Well, I'm just saying.
Financial advice.
Seems like there's a lot of
But
money.
he just
to
bought a
spend.
brand new motorcycle.
No, I know. I'm going to take that into account too. And then the
You should
Hellcat.
have driven that today. Did you?
No, I was rushing to get
It's
it.
a beautiful day.
I didn't want to rush on my motorcycle.
How much does the Hellcat cost? That's a nearly
New. He got the new.
over 80.
Aren't you getting the new
92.
one?
92. It's a 92.
Aren't you
80,
getting the new one?
70.
That's halfway paid off. My motorcycle's paid off. The boat will be paid off.
He's way better than you, buddy.
I know he is.
Way
But
better than you, buddy. And he can grow a weirdo beardo.
there's a chance I can wait him out until all these financial decisions take
this
their
is a
toll.
competition.
But I still got my house as my ace in my hole. As soon as I sell that, I'll double my net worth.
Well, I mean,
No, not double, but I'll be.
You'll be better. Yeah.
You didn't borrow anything against it for the boat, or
No,
take out any?
take out nothing. Nope.
Well, I feel like the
Is it paid off?
Which one?
Your house?
It's well, no, it's not paid off.
No.
So the house is.
I'll look that up too. So
This got like a
I'll
serious
tell everybody. I don't
competition for a
care.
second, Sam.
I owe. I could sell that house. It's at appraised for $1.1 million.
yeah.
I owe $400,000 on it.
Oh, that's pretty good. I mean, you should sell
You
it.
could buy
Yeah,
5 of them $80,000 boats. Take that,
I don't care.
Tom.
That's personal, but I don't care.
Yeah,
Whatever.
yeah.
Everyone knows house shit. It's no big deal. But I don't want to sell it because I love that. I love the house, so I want to stay in it.
Until your roommate moves out, then you move into the smaller bungalow.
I thought that was your plan.
I talked to him about that, and I was like, "Look, this is my plan. I'm going to do this if you don't want to stay here, and I increase your rent." So
So you pushed him
You
out.
priced him out?
Oh my God!
no,
you priced
he-
your best friend out of his only
He's
place
still
to live.
paying about 20 to 25% less than what he should be paying for.
Is
the
that
house.
why you have the beard? Is this a villain look?
Bizarro
evil.
Seth.
It's evil Seth.
So, but no, I increased his rent a little bit to make it fair, and then he's going to stay.
So
month.
I also mentioned
Month to month, he finds a new spot.
No, he's staying there.
So, Daniel and I have what is called the gatekeeper, right? And
what does that mean?
That our wives.
Oh, yeah.
And they won't allow us.
All of my
to-
bank accounts are attached to text messages to my wife's phone.
yeah.
So, like, even this morning, I bought something for the studio. It's connected to Amazon, and it just tells her. She's like, "You bought lights?" I'm like, "Yeah, for the studio." She's like, "Well, you used the wrong card."
yeah.
And I did. She's right. I did.
Buying,
I'm an idiot.
A super expensive luxury items, I cannot do just on a whim or without consulting my wife or talking her into it
Like
or
right
tricking
now,
her in some way.
Seminole Power Sports, they have the new Honda Monkey. Have you seen that? It's like the little. It's like the Grom, but it's the retro version. So it's the Grom, but it looks like a '70s, like tiny shorts, a gold necklace, mustache. You'd ride it around, picking up chicks. And I want one so bad, and I could have Seminole get me one. And Andrew said no.
I want to go. We both want a golf cart.
Yes.
I want that new electric Sur-Ron dirt bike.
Yes.
I really want that bad. I want that new electric Silverado because it'll go faster than
It's super
Seth's
fast.
car.
Yeah, way faster than the Hellcat.
I have my high on the electric Hummer, the EV. So
Oh, you're gonna get that?
I'm thinking.
He's gonna get everything, and we can get nothing.
This is
And
my
you have
thing.
no. Does Tracy tell you like what do you do? Like,
She wants a Volvo, and I feel bad.
Wants a Volvo?
"Can you
She's got
send
a
me Volvo?"
Hellcat, for Christ's sake, doesn't she?
does that. What? No, she drives mine sometimes.
I thought she had a Hellcat, or that's what you sold the other one.
does she-
That's when you
No,
were in
sold the other
transition.
one.
Does she
has her
ever tell you?
Dodge Ram Charger, her big truck that she got done.
Does she ever tell you like, hey, do you
What about your Scout?
That's getting done. My goal is to sell that Scout for then pay the Hummer off in cash with the money I get.
So
selling the
something
Scout.
you're already doing, you're not even going to use it. The Scout's an investment to pay for the electric
I
Hummer.
think-
This is craziness.
That's what I think I'm doing. Yes, I'm pretty sure.
I'm never going to get to do any of this fun. So all I do is work,
Well, you
and then I
mean-
come home and get told what I can't buy.
He's spending all his money. He's gonna be destitute.
This is chaos, though.
I want chaos.
I'm so
You're
like
pimping out one thing just
No,
to
he's not
turn
even gonna
around and
use
that's
the
what I'm saying.
Scout.
Just to
It
turn
can't be.
around. and
That's how
sell
you
it.
do. That's how you make. That's what you do. I bought one house to fix up and sell to make enough money to buy another house. Pay half of it off.
Hold on,
So I
all
have-
this from
like, you
Kimbo
use it.
money from the start.
No, I save my money. I don't. Well, now I'm
He's
not.
cheap as hell.
Just like you scream myself.
Like I save it.
Literally, you told us about 10 fucking things
You buy,
that cost $180,000.
Everything that I've done, any time that I've sold a house, when my real estate, I immediately put it right back into another one and try to at least make another 25% more than what I made in the last one. So I just try to, and I just build and build and build.
Let's talk about
That's what I
Tracy's
kept trying to do.
Volvo. Let's talk
and I
about
haven't done
Tracy's
that in a
Volvo.
long time. My house that I'm in now was the last one I was going to do, but I just haven't sold it yet because I fell in love with it. So now
So what's the next house after this?
I don't know.
Well, that's what you were
I
doing to
talked
make
my
your
brother.
money and
I'm probably going to. I told you this already. I think I'm going to buy a little condo in St. Pete so I can have a boat there and have my little.
Oh, you have 2 boats?
Yeah.
This is insanity, dude. I'm doing it wrong. I'm doing it on double boats. He's got multiple
Me and my
coats.
brother. No.
Hold on.
His girlfriend hot as hell, big old titties, got a Volvo. What the fuck am
No,
I
she doesn't
doing?
have a ball. Now, my boat is mine here. The boat in St. Pete, me and my brother are going to go in on together, and the house we're going to go in on together too.
You
So
had to
we're
take
both
your
doing
jacket
that.
off. You got hot. You got money hot.
Hey, I don't know. I'm gonna start digging into this.
I can't believe Tom remembered to wear his semantic shirt. I totally
He did.
forgot
Oh,
to
yeah,
text
he
him.
did.
Look at him.
Yeah, look at that.
He surprised himself.
He didn't even know he had it on.
I was like, what?
That's just the universe lining up.
And you guys are not real. I don't have. You guys have kids. I'm
Yeah.
I'm
That's
single.
it.
I'm
They're
single.
not that expensive.
I have a decent job that I'm making money at.
Yeah,
and,
if
you guys have
It is a
kids.
fact. If I did not have a daughter, I would have a hot ass girlfriend with a Volvo. I'd have double boats, and my brother and I'd party at
You
his
guys,
IP.
you guys would be able to afford a lot more. So I'm not that rich. You're saying that I am. I'm not. I'm just using my money kind of
How
wisely, I
much debt
guess.
do you have?
I don't have any besides my house. I'm not in any debt.
That's awesome.
I don't have any credit card debt.
I'm old. I have tons of debt. I have money, but I have tons of debt as well, and I'm old.
One lucky Kimbo punch got you all this.
Shut up, asshole.
Oh, you found it. You found it.
Well, he runs businesses.
I can't push the button.
I admire him picking a shot, and he tried it, and then he was like, "Oh, that hurt a little bit."
I've owned the gym for 15 years. Over the past 10 of those 15, I've made 6 figures a year running a gym.
They're good. They're good. No.
I'll go ahead and get the break.
I'm just-
they're going to fight.
Yeah.
Are you gonna fight him,
I'm
bro?
just worried that you're going through some sort of
Probably,
crisis.
yes, you're right about that.
That next thing you're buying
don't blow all your
$80,000
money.
boats and motorcycles and the electric Hummer.
I still have my reserve is good. My savings is fine. This was my play money that I wanted to do. It's not like I'm buying. Well, I am buying 2, but I'm going halves with my brother. I sold one. I got the money back for my
this all
first
down.
one. I got my money back for my first one and just going a little bit more with the
Listen, I'm happy for you. I want everybody to succeed.
and the push button is worth it.
And this
Hey, if it's worth it to you, man, that's all that matters, right? It's your money.
It's just newer, less hour on the engines. It's got all the nice new things.
My only argument would be if it were me, and it's not me, so it doesn't matter. But I would say that whole thing would be a headache. I would have just kept the one I had because it's just like this is a pain in the ass.
Yeah,
but that's the only.
It is a headache. But when I'm out on the water, like it's so. I'm happy. Very, very happy when I'm out there.
Tom says that, but he never goes out. Tom says his happy place is the water, but I couldn't tell you the last time. I don't even know if he knows where his boat is.
And it's
you know where you left
over there.
I did look at some new boat ones that he has, but brand new.
Yeah,
and they're
kind of nerdy.
They're
like a nerdy boat.
They're half the price, so it'd be worth it. But
it's half the price because it's like you're buying like Rockport walking shoes for old men, or you can buy like really cool vans.
But then I can go on the other end of that and go past my boat with some of the ones that they're sending me on the page.
Why don't you just go full on yacht? Why don't you just go?
See, I don't have that. Then I'll be blowing all my money.
What about a tugboat? Get a tugboat.
I'm just bringing it up because I care about you, Seth. I don't want to see you make a horrible decision.
You care about nothing except for your sons.
I see people I see them go down to they're posted on Facebook and they're doing. I'm like they're making poor decisions. I'm like I'll just bring them aside and be like, hey, you sure you know what you're doing here?
Do you know what you're doing, bro?
You're spending a lot of money. You got these things.
I wish you'd consulted me before you cut your beard.
Like this, I can go back.
I feel like the boat is the beard.
Yes, I do feel like they're connected. I do feel like there is I feel like you have a tendency to freak out. And I think if we were able to trace your facial hair, we'd see patterns in it and things you buy. I think we'd see like,
let's talk about
he's doing a monkey tail beard. Oh, what did he buy? Motorcycle. Oh,
because there is a element. Okay, follow me here, Daniel. Because
I tell you, I follow you to hell, buddy.
So me and Daniel have talked about this before, where like having children, right? Like kind of took a stressor away from us, in the fact that we felt like now we were leaving some of our DNA and a human behind.
Yeah,
and it does make you fear death less. It's a weird psychology where like you now have kids that you made that are half you that will exist, and you kind of feel like that you're leaving something behind. It's a weird like
it is. It's like part of you living.
I mean, it's a lot of hassle just for that. So don't do it just for that. But I feel like
stop reading the chat, Seth.
The people that have maybe the worst midlife crisis are the people without kids and are hitting midlife because
so you're saying
they don't feel that.
Do you think he wants children?
Well,
we know.
Yeah, we know.
But you're saying
I'm saying he doesn't have them now, so it's like
I'll tell you right now. Before Maisie,
it's a freak out. It's
before Maisie, I used to cut my beard like a dickhead. That's a fact.
I'm just saying the part of the full freak out is the facial hair changes.
Yeah.
You got to
spice it up because you don't have something naturally in your life keeping it spicy at all times.
Yeah. And then so you start spending your money and stuff.
Yeah, I am buying that. There is a truth to me getting new things and having a little bit of excitement.
Well, it's a serotonin, right? Like you get it gives you that
retail therapy.
Yeah, it gives
I was just saying in the chat, and I wasn't trying to be
buying
mean, Seth,
shit too, but
that I was surprised that Seth doesn't pay for a hair transplant because he always talking about he wants hair and he wears wigs, and it's like you have all this money. funny.
You wear wigs?
No, I don't.
Well, you get that wig sent to him, and he always takes pictures of it.
Yeah, but you're lucky.
No, I don't.
But you have a good.
I sent him to her only.
Yeah, those are my personal
Sam's like
photos.
so convinced. She's like, yeah, he's wearing this wig all the
I
time.
need to know if it looks good, so I ask her.
I'm like, it's a little off.
That's awesome. You know what? I like that. That's fantastic.
You
As a
pull
wig
off.
consultant.
I've asked Tracy. I'm like, you tell me that you want me to have hair, and I will go right now and get hair transplants. I asked her that.
I don't think
Wherever
she
I'm with-
wants you to have hair.
Well, she says she doesn't, but I'm like, seriously, I don't care. If you want me to, I'll go and do it. Like, I'd want to please the other person that I'm with. So I would be like, if you want me to, I will. Because it doesn't bother. It does, but it doesn't really to the fact that I'd spend money to get hair transplants.
Okay.
What about
More
the
of a wig.
tattoo that just makes it look like you always keep it buzzed?
No,
yeah.
It's really popular in the Latin
Microblade.
communities. In the Latin communities. They
Yeah, I've
love
seen that.
that. We can do your goatee too. Permanent goatee.
Let's do the dot hair.
Dot hair.
Dot
hair.
Dot hair.
Oh, we can get tattoo artists that we know to do it. No problem.
I would do a bid for for charity or something like that.
You do the whole. It's like thousands.
Oh my god, how long does that take?
If it looked good, I would do it. Because why not? Because
And then you can go get it freshened up. Like if you're like, oh, I need a few more hair.
yeah, square.
Oh, it's
You could
very
round
square.
it. You could square. You could do a daffodil.
Yeah,
If you know.
you get
They
the
have a widow's
straight
peak.
Harvey.
Yeah, what do you want? The only thing you can't do is take away. So you
Well, you
got
can laser it
you
off.
add a little bit, and then you go, "How's this look?" Like a little more.
And then I'm like,
Is it always black hair then? Always black dots?
Well, it's black until it gets the sun on, and then it turns green. Disgusting green, like every Daytona Beach swamp bag's titties. Yeah, they get the tattoo on their titties, they're out in the sun, it turns swamp green.
all right, let's take a break, and then we'll come back. We'll do some Seth news. Like Seth
Look,
thinks I'm
you got
always
him
attacking.
flying over here.
No, that's why.
You think I'm attacking you?
Yeah, I do
You
feel
got
like
a
you
good
are.
life.
I don't think you're attacking me. I just think you're.
I think he's jealous, Seth.
Oh, we know he is. I mean, we know he is.
Who wouldn't be? Like, someone sit back and be like, I don't like that. Like, I don't want it. What do you all want? Everybody wants it.
Just know that inside I'm slightly tortured myself.
Well, we know that.
Well, yeah, I know.
God.
We're not jealous of that,
But I also want to know that
just want the money,
you're spending all the
hot
money
chicks.
and then you'll be destitute soon. That gives me a little bit of joy.
Wow.
My God, man.
Well, that's what everybody wants.
I'm definitely doing donuts around your boat.
The name of the band or artist is High Pulp. The name of the song, All Roads Lead to Los Angeles. Yeah, I'm throwing a little jazz in there. Why not? We'll be back with more Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan momentarily. 1-844-TOMNDAN if you want to call the line, maybe leave a voicemail message. Show at tomanddan.com for last-minute emails. Hey, it's official. Tacos are my favorite food, and I will choose tacos for just about every meal. And so will my daughter. Burritos, though. She likes the burritos.
If you haven't gone by Gringos in a while, do yourself a favor, treat yourself, and go by Gringos Locos, pick up some double Ds. That dang quesadilla is great. That mouth hugger burrito, like Daniel said.
It's just so good, man. And they do catering as well, and I know we've talked about it. But if you're having a party, you're gonna
Super Bowl party coming up.
Yeah, you're gonna fail if you just do the. And I know Sam's probably gonna get mad at me, or maybe is it Juan or Sam that likes the crock pot full of grape jelly meatballs? I will. It's just horrifying.
Yeah.
I don't want the crock pot of grape jelly meatballs. I want a taco bar, a double D taco bar. And you know what? Let's pony up and let's get the young people to serve the tacos for me.
Oh,
you know what? Let's
full
go big
catering.
dog. Let's go
Okay.
big dog.
Yeah. Or if you want, if you have a smaller party, they could drop off the catering package to you.
That's
you
not
make
what I
your own
want.
double Ds. They leave you everything you need to set up the double D bar.
Yep.
And the queso cones or stuff.
Guaco taco, stuff that you can't even get on the normal menu from all the different locations. 2 in the Amway.
Yep. One downtown, the original Gringos. One in the Milk District. One on Michigan Avenue. One in UCF.
Yes.
It's gringoslocos.com.
Welcome back to a Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I am Dan.
I'm Tom. So, Seth, you went to some tournament with your students, correct?
Correct. 2 weeks ago. Yes, 2 weeks ago.
And your students, I saw a BDM actually post on the BDM page talking about how his daughter, I believe, started, training with you at the dojo.
That was a good post.
Yeah, and it kind of transformed her into a stronger person and
More
gave her
confident.
focus
She got
and
the
discipline.
itch, man, and it sucked her
I
in,
like
and now
that.
she's killing it.
She's big time into it. It's really
Yeah.
cool to see that. It looks like how I was when I was a little kid. It's really cool to see like her be like so excited about.
It's hard to
karate.
find that
It's
thing,
cool.
too, I think.
Yeah.
I think sometimes you can get lucky and find a thing, and sometimes, it took me a while. Like, I remember even as a little kid, I eventually found drums, but you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to find, my friends were doing
You gotta
things.
try
They said
things.
drugs.
Yeah.
Which is what Tom needs to make his
I
kids
see,
do.
and by the way, I see those posts. I'm like, you think you're better than me? You think you're better, Dad? He is. So you went to this karate tournament, and your students are fighting. Now, you sent Daniel a video, which will play on Twitch, but why are you now fighting this video?
The reason
It's an amateur tournament. You're a professional.
doesn't matter. It's karate. I'm not a professional karate fighter. I was a professional MMA fighter.
I feel like that's I don't know about that, right? It's like once I've done this for 20 years and people are like, and then I go to who's the best on the microphone? I'm like, I ain't never seen one of these before. I'll try it. That's
like
weird.
Danica Patrick, she's racing in a go-kart race, and then she's like, well, I'm not a professional go-kart racer, even if she probably was.
What
but
is this that you said?
Like,
Did you send me a montage video?
yeah, it's a montage of me fighting. Yes.
Oh my
From this past week.
embarrassing.
I thought this was supposed to be about your students.
Oh no, me.
Okay.
I didn't get the video. That I was coaching them, and I wasn't allowed to video. I did that. So Tracy's the one that videoed me fighting.
It says
so
Sensei Seth Petrozelli
Kumite
montage from AAU Karate Kickoff Tournament.
It does.
Oh,
yeah.
my God.
I have the cool 80s videos.
All right.
So you made Tracy videotape you and edit together a montage.
I edited it.
Oh,
She videoed.
All right.
It's me. I'm in the helmet.
Wait a minute. Why are you wearing a helmet?
Why doesn't the other guy get a helmet?
We got a problem.
You are punching a fat dad in the head, and he has no helmet. And why do you have a helmet? You're the goddamn professional. You stepped into a ring with Bob Sapp.
That's why
look
I'm
up Bob
wearing a
Sapp.
helmet now. I do not want to have another concussion. I shouldn't be fighting right now, but I am, so I put a helmet on.
Well, wait. If
It's
you shouldn't
optional.
be fighting, then you shouldn't be fighting.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
why
I
is
know,
it?
because
Why
I
isn't
need-
he wearing a
I
helmet?
need that for my ego.
But these are
It's
amateur.
optional for the adults to wear. It's mandatory for kids, optional for adults, and I'm the only one that opted to wear a headgear.
So who are you fighting in this one? You're punching them.
I mean, isn't it a little weird for the guy that's fought on TV to be wearing the protective gear and beating up all the amateurs? Like, isn't that weird?
A little, I guess, when you put it that way.
I mean, I just boil things down. I'm a simple man, but when it's like,
So what even class is this considered? Is it like a
Senior.
Seth,
Senior is 35 years old and above. So it's not that senior.
You're more muscular and shredded than anybody I know at any age, right?
Yeah.
Like, of all of our friends, Daniel, do you know anybody as muscular as Seth?
no,
Like,
not even close. Not even close.
And so,
Not even that has the diet regimen. I know nutritionists.
That does not matter when it comes to forms.
I know nutritionists that's their job, and they are not as good as Seth. Does that make sense?
But all I'm saying is
That's good.
you're fighting in the senior division, and you should be just fighting like the youngest and the best.
If there's nobody for the senior division, I go down and fight them as well.
right.
That's fine. But this is 35 and up, black belt, advanced, so black belts, male, obviously. But
were you more okay? Did you have more karate training than any of the other competitors?
in the Kumite division, yes, because they were all younger than me that I was fighting.
This guy looks
But in
like
the kata division, no, because there was senseis in there that had been senseis for 20, 30 years.
I'm just gonna call it like
I
I
beat them.
see it though. In the first
But
fight,
do you win all your fights?
Yeah, I win everything.
Okay, I'm just gonna say in this first
I
fight,
won all my so I had 12 people that I was going against in the forms, and I beat all them. And then there was 6 people in the fight, 6 or 7. and I
why
beat all
are there Harry Potter people running around the outside of
So
the...
those are the judges that determine the points.
Why are
So
they
if
dressed like
it's-
Hermione and
because
and
it's AAU. It's done. You have to wear a certain colored outfit to judge.
She has
So
on blue pants, a white shirt, and a Harry Potter tie.
Yeah, that's what they wear.
They dress like Harry Potter.
Yes.
It's just fucking weird, dude. This is weird. You're a fucking weirdo. I love you, but you're weird.
Why is this weird? This
is weird because, you don't think it's weird that the guy that's fought on TV and beat people up, prize fighter, professional prize fighter, goes to an amateur tournament, starts slapping around the people, and he's the only one that has all the protected.
It's kind of Kenny Powersy.
There it is.
It's a different
Presto number 2 this week.
It's a different type of competition.
It really is. It really is a different type of competition. I don't know what it is.
Did you choose this 80s cheese music?
Yes,
too?
I did. I did. I did that on purpose.
Javier is standing in the corner.
Javier's in my corner. Actually, he is.
And
it gets good. You can see better.
Oh, you're fighting Jim Henson.
That
guy looks like Jim Henson.
I punched him in the face.
Who was Jim Henson?
You're fighting a guy. You punched a guy that looks like Jim Henson in the face. He's bald. He's got male
Watch Jim
baldness.
Henson take it right to the kisser. This is called
He actually scored a point at me. That guy.
This is called Kermit the Frog.
You punched Jim Henson in the face.
Why did you do that?
There's a couple more I did.
God, it's not easy being green.
It's not punching. It's a light touch, and you have to recoil your hand. It's different than fighting, because fighting you'd follow up. This you have to touch and pull back.
He's crying. Are you happy now?
This man's grown daughters are watching. His daughters.
Hi, my name is Chester. My hobbies are wood carving and karate. And I'm here with my daughters. Oh, shit. I bet that was hard, having to explain to your daughters as you sat at friendlies afterwards and your nose is bleeding.
For sure, all the other karate instructors and the judges, they're all talking shit, right? I beat Kimbo Slice. He comes here every year and he punches all the time.
This is my first karate tournament in 20 years. Second karate tournament.
It's that Jason Bateman movie where he does the spelling bees as a grown up. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Remember that shit?
Bad words or something like that. Yeah.
I figured it out. I figured it out.
This makes me so happy this happens.
Except it's real.
I can't believe it's real.
Insane.
You guys are taking this way out of context.
Are we?
We're watching the video. Why are we taking it out of context?
Because
we are watching and
video
commentating
proof of you beating up
on reality.
I want to watch a little more because he's crying. You're kicking his flank. Why don't you kick his flanks?
He's pissing. He's pissing blood now for sure.
You knocked him down.
I swept. Well, he kind of fell, but I swept him too.
And then you go,
It's me, Ki. That's my Ki.
Fell over like an old man.
I punched him too. That one was hard. At the end, you see me. There's a sweep and a point. I spin kicked his face there. Did you see that one? I spin kicked his face right there.
Dude, what the fuck
I can't believe this happened.
This is real.
Meanwhile, Tracy is standing there.
Shaking, holding the video.
Now get him, baby. Kick his fucking Henson face off, baby.
No, you know what she did say?
Holding it up,
She's texting her friends my boyfriend.
I'm going to get my Volvo, kick his fucking puppet hat off.
No, I was like, you don't seem like, this was like a day or two after. I was like, I felt good about myself that I fucking got 2 gold medals. I really did. I was proud because I haven't done karate. Just listen.
Jim Henson's in there second place. You get 2+.
You guys don't understand the form part. The kata part I was most proud of because I haven't practiced my kata. I teach. I haven't been able to do my kata the way I want to do it, my form. That's important to me. And I went against some guys that were actually very, very good in other senseis. I was proud of that. The kumite I just did, and maybe I was better.
Slapping around a bunch of nerds.
But I told Tracy, I'm like, I'm just proud. I'm like, you don't seem very happy. She's like, well, they were just kind of older than you. So she called me up. So she kind of called me up.
On brand, Tracy. Well done. On brand.
Yeah. So it wasn't as impressive.
She's very sweet.
Yeah.
And I bet you...
You thought she'd be impressed by a karate competition? She's 23!
No. That's true. That is an old man's impressive thing.
But guess what?
You're right. I never thought of it like that, Sam. You're right.
She coaches the kids. She was into it.
Yeah, but the kids doing karate...
I feel like she was gaslighted into that job.
I feel like kids earn... Okay, like if Tommy came in here and said, Mr. Daniel, look, I got my medal, I would be like, oh, dude, that's rad.
Because it's a kid.
And it's super... impressive, right?
Yeah.
Like Sam said, because it's a kid.
Yeah.
So Oh my God, are you Michael Jacksoning? You're Michael Jacksoning.
She has to spend her weekends at karate competitions.
You're Michael Jackson.
She told me after this tournament, you know what? I think I'm going to do the next karate tournament. So she's going to compete
be a part of it?
and do kata, the form, not the farm. She doesn't want to fight, but she wants to do the
she's
form.
classy.
She wants
She ain't going to slap the old men around. Yeah.
No, it'll be other girls her age.
Old grannies.
No, she'd be fighting.
Tracy's nice here to push some old
girls.
lady down.
Tell us about the medal presentation when the whole tournament's over and you're like,
Yeah.
I wasn't out of breath at all. They were out of breath.
And
I
do
was
you do
like,
your Kyo?
and I was the only one in a mask afterwards.
You got to do that thing that, who's that?
I'm literally the only one with a helmet. I have a helmet and a mask on, and everyone else is without. Sorry, I look like an idiot.
Oh, we know.
Yeah.
I know, you know, but
Your
I like how-
honesty. I like
you're
the
so-
honesty.
at least I'm being honest.
You are.
yeah. This
Holy
is
shit, dude.
so Fred Simmons that it's like,
But
it
it's
can't
real.
even be any better.
But
I know.
It's real.
It just
People
it seems
don't. People don't think this is real, right? They don't. They don't.
It's-
And the people don't watch the Twitch feed
Come
or
and watch
anything.
me.
Like they don't see the video or anything. Like, I
Can
don't.
people can
Come and watch me March 5th. That's the next one I'm doing.
We
So it's
should.
open, is it open to the public?
Dude,
Yeah.
we
Okay.
should roll by with our live equipment and
When
just
is it?
do
I'm
20
putting this
minutes
on
for
the
ACT
calendar.
or something. We should just roll by
March
if we can.
5th.
yeah.
It's an hour and a half. It's an hour and a half drive.
Oh,
It's-
That's a
God.
haul.
Sorry, you guys are going to the coast.
So where, like, and during the presentation when they give you the gold medal, do they you bend over? Or they put
and
it
they
over
put
your,
it. Yeah, of course.
Okay, do you stand on some sort of podium?
No, we're just.
Do you
standing
make them
alive.
play like the national anthem? And then are they? And do you bow?
We have to bow before and after, of course.
And then
Do you say a speech or anything?
No, it's not like that.
Do you shake
At the after party, of course. Yeah, I did. I have all
after party
Where
of
is
a
it at?
kids karate
Yeah, I
tournament?
invite all the kids' parents and the kids and the
Back to
adults.
my place for nude pool party.
Yeah, no, I had like a pizza and wing party, and the kids stayed till like midnight. I was doing karaoke again.
Michael Jackson.
Macaulay Culkin was there. Webster was hanging out.
so all
Mr. Belvedere.
all the students came back for a
participated.
midnight pool party.
Yeah, you played, and then you all got
you're
on the
doing
life-size
karaoke.
train, and you rode around and rode the amusement ride,
Oh.
and then you all jumped back in the Alaskan
I had
king
Tracy-
bed and
I
told
had-
stories to each other while you fondled each other's pubes.
We can be here all day talking about this because there's a whole situation to that. Tracy left early for a reason. She got in a fight. Tracy. She got in a fight with the guy who puts on the whole tournament. He's like the main sensei, the huge head guy. He told her to
Is that huge?
Yeah.
I'm sensei.
I don't want to say that.
Big sensei.
But anyway, she got in a huge argument. It was like a 5-minute argument, and I pussied out because I didn't want to get in the middle of it because I didn't want to have her dojo get
I'll
kicked
just
out.
be over here with my medals in
So
my
I
head
saw
here.
them.
They'll
I
take
saw
my
them-
medals.
Yeah,
I'm staying out of it.
yeah. I saw
my
them.
headgear
Oh
on.
my
Go
God.
away,
I saw
go
them
away,
arguing.
go away.
Oh, what'd you get in a fight over?
Right.
The way the whole tournament was run because of COVID, they had made everyone sit down, but they were
COVID's not real, you fucking idiots!
No, she wasn't like that. She was the one with the mask on, yelling at the guy to get out of his face. I don't know you. You're in my face yelling at me without a mask. There's nowhere to sit. You packed too many people in here. I don't know what you want me to do,
This
miss.
doesn't sound
Invent the
healthy
shit.
for
No,
anybody.
It wasn't good. So she started crying. She left after the kids. And then as she was
Hold
driving
on.
home, I was
Hold
like,
on. Seth didn't help stick up for his girlfriend,
I
and
did.
he let her leave crying.
well, I couldn't leave the door.
Yeah,
I
he
said,
had to stay with the kids. Who's going to pick up the pizzas for the pool
exactly.
party?
No,
Were your parents there?
Tracy did.
Oh my
On
God.
the way home, I called her, and I was like, "Hey,
You gotta get the pizzas.
I was like, "Hey, order 10 pizzas,
I'm trying to put in Kanto on a Netflix.
and stop by Target and get a life-size Jenga thing and a giant Connect Four thing."
Jumbo Jenga
Jumbo Jenga.
The kids are coming to Jumbo Jenga.
and some wine.
I'm going to fucking pass out.
So I get
Get
home.
Mike's harder.
So she did good. I got home and she had all this stuff. She had the big, giant, human-sized Connect Four, and she had the giant.
I got the traps as you requested me, sir.
And then I Venmoed her what she paid. I paid her back, so she paid for it.
All the traps are set. Are the kids here yet?
Oh my God.
I want to imagine Tracy's building the Connect Four, and then Seth is
Crying.
getting ready in his robes and practicing his katas with
In the mirror.
with the 2 gold medals.
Yeah, you still got it, baby.
and then you play like the movie theme, with any karate movie, like basically what Seth used for a video, and then you walk out with the fog machine, and all your students clap.
I kind of want you to have a breakdown moment like Nate from that show, the soccer show, Ted Lasso, where you like look in the mirror and then you spit in it or punch it or something. Like I want there to be a.
I mean, that was kind of the beard thing.
I want like a dysfunctional breakdown or something. I want you to talk to yourself.
So,
who's the best at karate, motherfucker?
When did they stop letting you compete because you're winning too much? And then
they do that. They gave you a trophy for winning so much. At the end of the year, if you win the most gold medals, you get this 10-foot trophy.
It's a child. So me get the biggest, me trade little. Me take all little trophies, trade in for big.
I want to put the trophy on my boat and go up.
So at the end of this, you were hoping to win the 10-foot karate trophy.
I want my students to win it as well. No, it's for a dojo too, so I want everybody to do good, so the whole dojo can get one too, not just individual myself.
Oh, like the Stanley Cup.
But if you win, you'll still get it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why don't you just build one yourself?
But I don't know if that's going to happen because February 19th is the next tournament, but we're having our karate test that day, so we have to miss that tournament to do the karate test. So it's going to miss
You're not taking it seriously.
I know it's missing us on a bunch of points, but that's okay. What I was happy with is the kids that did so good. Honestly, the kids did great, and they were so. Afterwards, they got so much confidence. Even Riley, who got very, very upset, was stronger for this. She came back the next week after losing. She lost. And was like, I want to do private lessons. She was like super, super mad that she lost. Motivated. Yeah. So that was cool to see.
That's what you want, right?
I want my son to be like,
I lost and now I must crush them.
Yeah.
And that's why I competed. I wanted them to see that Sensei could do it too.
But they've seen it like 100 times.
No, they haven't. They see me teaching. They never see me do anything.
Okay.
They beg me at the end of the class to do a kata. Like, please, Sensei, do a kata.
Please have another pool party.
Do the split between the chairs.
We love that. Grown man splits. Grown man. They chant. It's weird.
I see the muscle man. You're holding the dumbbells above your head.
The family. The family. The family. It's the only part I know. Watching Encanto.
All right, Seth. Can you do some news? We got a guest coming on in like 20 minutes.
All right, I got a bunch of news. I'll pick the good ones.
All right. Well, you get the good one. I will get your button, and here we go.
But the Russian won't call him back, and we all forgot about that fight. Just more proof for long you're gonna die. It's Seth Petrozelli with your Duke Bro
Bro News.
Brought to you by White Claw. I believe the White Claw Variety Pack 2 has a new flavor, right? I've been seeing that on the BDM page.
Oh, was it passion fruit, I think?
Yeah,
they swapped one of them out. Yeah.
Mango, I think, because mango was a duplicate, I think, for the Variety Pack.
Too many mangoes. That's in every goddamn pack.
Yeah. Because then they got 1, 2, and 3.
Yeah.
And then with the passion fruit flavor. Anyway, I like White Claw Surge, too, if you want 1 or 2.
Careful with those.
I call those, that is the theme park fuel. And what I mean by that is you carry one with you while you're going to the theme parks. You just drink that on the way and you're good.
Yep.
That's all you need, one.
Use hashtag #ClawMe.
Oh, and somebody in the chat room, I think it was Abraham Dragon Friend, asked if your kids won at the tournament, and they did. A lot of the kids won.
Oh, yeah. So we took 12 people total, kids and adults. There's a 6 and 6, 6 kids, 6 adults, 7 gold medals, 2 silver medals, and 7 bronze medals. And this was everybody's first
all jokes
tournament.
Aside, we're making fun, but the kids
good, man.
stepped up and they brought home some. They're bringing home some silverware.
For their very first tournament ever, and all these other kids have competed before.
And I know you were really stoked about that because you were letting us know that you were really happy about the kids.
Super happy about. So I'm proud.
Anyway, all jokes aside, I want to make sure you let the real stuff know.
Yeah.
First story.
First story is about kids as well.
Uh-oh.
So a 13-year-old, a young boy, he is tortured during a horror sleepover by a group of girls.
Wait, you just had a sleepover with kids.
This is
this
bad.
about you?
This is bad. This is a bad look.
Yeah, well, the reason I picked this story is because I remember a lot, and I don't think this is talked about a lot. I know guys and girls back and forth with whoever does bad things to each other. But when I was younger, I remember being like picked on and not tortured, but picked on
fat?
a lot. Oh yeah, big time because I was fat and my hair
What
was
would they do?
disheveled.
What was wrong with your hair? I didn't know you had hair.
I had like they called me mophead.
Oh.
I had like long. It was just
You're a fat mophead? Oh, man.
Mophead. Mop. Looked like a mophead. Yeah. So anyway, I was picked on and poked at, called pork belly a lot.
Pork belly?
Pork
Oh, my
belly's
God.
delicious.
Pork belly mophead.
And
So-
but who would pick on you? Like just the kids at school? Your
The
friends?
kids at school. Yeah, the girls especially. The girls at school. Yeah, they would just the girls.
This
a lot
all
of the
fucking
girls.
makes sense now.
Oh, yeah, it did. Yeah.
I mean,
Anyway,
I feel like we're detectives on the crime.
this was when I was really little. though.
Everything always makes sense.
Yeah.
At the
Oh,
end,
yeah.
It really does. And it's usually pretty
you-
simple
Just a
shit.
few little pieces of information.
Yeah, you see crazy stuff. You're like, well, how the hell does that happen? Then you hear the whole, all the
Yeah.
you're like, okay.
Sometimes all it takes is 2 segments about karate tournaments. You got it all figured out.
So what happened?
So anyway, the 13-year-old boy had been staying at one of the girls' homes when the attack happened. The girl was 15. He was 13.
That's okay.
Yeah, that's weird as well, right? That's
My parents.
I mean, out of context, yes, that's weird. I don't know what's going on there.
I wasn't allowed to do nothing. There were no
Unless
girls
it was
staying
like
at my
she
house.
had a little brother and he was there for that. I don't know. I don't know the story.
Yeah, it's weird.
So while he was staying over, the group of girls, 3 or 4 of them, unleashed a prolonged assault on the boy, kicking and punching him. They punched him in the groin and burnt his arm with a cigarette lighter.
Goddamn.
Duct tape was used to bind his ankles and wrists and to cover his mouth. They used a pair of kitchen scissors to cut his hair and shave his eyebrows and repeatedly punch him in the balls.
That's terrible.
Yeah, it's so bad.
It is terrible, but for whatever reason, there's something where like we've never. If it was the opposite,
See, if it was opposite, that's what I'm saying. If it was opposite, how fucked up we would not be laughing.
No,
Well,
hell no.
Inside.
I don't know. Yeah, I mean, this is just as bad.
It absolutely is. But for some reason, when you hear it, just the phrase, and they repeatedly punched him in the balls, for some reason, I want to laugh at that.
Yeah.
But this sounds terrible. Did they
So what-
arrest all of them?
The group moved outside. They were just touching how he tried to escape and run out. They ran after him, grappled him, and drug him back in the
Oh
house.
my God!
To continue.
Were they trying to kill him or something?
I
Or
don't know. They weren't trying to kill him. They were just
fucking around?
further assault. And the boys stole him. Phone.
know,
They stole his phone.
The only time I had girls come into my house, I was in Key Club at DeLand High, and I'd been selected to be like the Keyette. It's back when that service club, Key Club, was segregated for gender.
Uh-huh.
So there were females called Keyettes, and then there was Key Club. And now it's not like that. Now it's like boys and girls all in one service club together.
Yeah,
it's just
yeah,
called
yeah.
Key Club. But that's how quickly things have changed since like the 90s, you know. But I remember they did this thing called Key at Casanova, and then they had got a hold of my mom and dad ahead of time, and then they let the girls in. It was like one of those dumb things where the girls come in, they give you like a party basket, and they're like, yeah, and then they take you out to breakfast or something.
Uh-huh.
And it was and truthfully, like I was happy about it because I had girls in my room, but I didn't get to do anything with any of them, so it sucked. Does that make sense?
Yeah. But at that age, you're happy to be around.
Yeah, I
for
was
any
just
girl.
happy to have any girl in my room.
I wonder if when they started beating him up, if he was like, oh, so like,
That's kind of what I was thinking.
I mean, I'm
It's
just
like-
going 13-year-old boy, but or if like, why was he even
obviously-
over there?
He knew them,
Yeah,
right?
it doesn't. I read
It
this whole
said,
thing. It
yeah,
doesn't
it said
say
he
why.
was
it's over
staying there, but it doesn't say
doesn't
why.
say why. Yeah.
So, like this, like the scenario where what was the movie? Was it called Bully?
Oh yeah.
Where it was like
about
friends, like seemingly they're friends, but there was one bully that was like bullying the others and like bullying one real bad, and like like this happens and been happening throughout years, right?
Well, those
Where,
type
like,
of movies were like, man, early 2000s, there were a slew of movies where, like, the bully would bully a pack of kids. The pack of kids have had enough, and they, through a series of weird, things, the kid falls down, like, hits his head in a ravine and dies, so then they chop him all up and bury him because they get scared.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like a series, that was a brand of movie in the early 2000s.
But we also forget, like, a lot of times the bully is considered your friend. Because especially kids' relationships are trying to like make friends and like they may only have known each other for 8 months or whatever, but it's a long time.
I have one that comes
Kids
to
are
mind that
dickheads,
bullied me incessantly, and he was still considered my friend.
And
Yes,
he'd
that's
probably
correct.
think and tell people like I'm his friend,
Yes.
but he's like doing
just
this.
fucking around.
Yeah. And then it goes, and this seems like it's something that went too far. And then there's a weird group psychology where and they've done experiments before where like they'll turn some college kids into the prison guards and then the prisoners, and then immediately
it's a group thing.
they'll
The
start
abuse of
doing
power bullshit.
They'll start doing crazy shit they normally wouldn't do. So it's like all of them together start beating up this kid, and then they all like egg on each other, and then the group mentality. Individually they probably never do this,
but as a group,
they charge them with some sort of crime.
The judge let her go, saying that he felt that she had genuine remorse and nothing would happen to her. So she changed schools, but then another court overturned that and said she needed to do like 15 months of community service. Something.
18 months, yeah.
18 months, yeah, something.
That
like
is very.
There's only one of the girls, and they all participate.
It just says one 15-year-old, but there was a group of participants, so it doesn't.
Yeah,
Yeah, it says she
ringleader.
pled guilty.
You know what's interesting about this is I do think it's possible to have somebody who might be like IQ-wise not intelligent enough to actually know that their actions are not playful. I've seen that before, where I've seen people that are doing something like they think they're like funning, and I'm like, holy shit, that's way too far. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, you don't have a good concept of like even playing hard, and it can be, I guess that can be dangerous when you do that.
Now, for the boy that got beat up, right? Is I have no idea in the teenage generation. I mean, because if you think back under when we grew up, this kid would be made fun of forever, right? But nowadays, probably not as much.
I had an instance where my mom leaked something. Like, we were having parties in the woods and drinking and shit, and my mom and a group of other mothers had found out, and then my mom was the one who actively like shut it all down, right? So then word got back to like all of the different guys, my buddies.
Oh, you're
and
the
it
nerd with the mom.
It was pretty bad, dude. It was pretty bad. Like, they were really, really mean to me.
Well, you shut the party down.
I didn't shut shit down. My mom did.
Well, how'd you find out?
I didn't tell her. The other moms did, but she was the one that acted. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah,
the other moms, like moms may know shit, but they don't have to do. They could be cool. In this instant, my mom, I think, was concerned about me drinking and driving, is what I'm going to guess. So she just shut it down. And man, I remember all of the dudes were very angry with me.
And around 15 is that type of around that age range where women get they're bigger. Girls are bigger than the boys, especially if boys don't
She
go
was
through
older
puberty
anyway.
late. But it's like if a 13-year-old boy, if you haven't really hit puberty yet, like you could be way smaller. I mean,
like
a
even
15-year-old
me.
girl could tower over you easily
Sam
stronger.
or Andrea, they get beat.
I remember the
me
girls are
senseless.
bigger than me with that smack me around.
When they were calling you pork belly,
Yeah,
whatever.
pork belly. Yeah.
Well, one I got,
Pork
one I
belly
deserved
mophead.
it.
What were your name? Pork belly mophead.
Pork
right?
belly mophead.
What else?
Yeah, that's,
Is there
pudge ball was my
Pudge ball.
pudge ball.
Is there any girl in the world right now that could beat you in a fight?
No.
Okay. All right, back to you. Next story. Next story.
Okay. This one I found pretty interesting because everyone feels like ecstasy now. Like it's kind of like it's being more accepted as like an okay drug to do.
I think
in small
all of
quantities.
those drugs, mushrooms, ecstasy,
Yeah, yeah.
acid, everybody's like, oh, you got a microdose. That's the only way you're going to ever have your personality be regular and real. I'm like, really? What if I just don't do any drug? No. The only way that you're going to have your true self is if you got a microdose until you die. And I'm like, well, we all just found this out now?
Yeah.
That's the thing?
So one guy took 40,000 ecstasy pills.
My God.
over a 9-year period, but that's still he took about 25 pills a day for 4 years. 25.
Oh my
pills.
God.
Is this the guy that was in the documentary where he is literally fried? There's a documentary.
Well-
I don't know where it's at, but they document this guy, and he's like addicted to raves, and kind of like a rednecky guy, but he just loves raves and he loves ecstasy. And they do this documentary on him, and dude, he is on it. He is
Is it
not.
Tiger King?
He is no. It's like this guy. Like when you're looking into him, you're like, you're not there, man. You're just you're on a different plane.
I don't even. Well, so you're taking multiple at a time. Obviously, when you wake up in the morning, dying, and then so how? Like, I mean,
Maybe not. You might space it out. You know what I mean?
Well, no.
you're spaced out.
I'm just taking
spacing it out.
24. Now you're taking like 4, 6 times a day or whatever it is.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? But
That's a pain pill thing, not an ecstasy thing, right?
Or you're taking one every half hour. Like how much? And then you could OD easily,
Well,
right?
are you
build up-
I
normal?
don't
You're
think
probably
so.
you feel nothing, right? That's why you take so many.
Yeah, you're probably normal at that point. So, all said and done, they calculated how much he's done and why he stopped. He stopped because he started getting he collapsed a few times at some parties
well, yeah.
because of it. So, obviously, went to the hospital. They started him on taking him off. So, the first few months, he felt like he was still under influence of ecstasy and suffered several episodes of tunnel vision. He eventually developed severe panic attacks, recurrent anxiety, depression, muscle rigidity. Rigidity. Thank you, and hallucinations and paranoid delusions.
Yeah, I mean that much.
Just keep me on it then.
It's MDMA.
Yeah.
If that much for that long every single day, you can't. Your brain is going to freak out if you get off of it, right? And then
it
is
would
there?
have to.
I mean, I'm sure you're addicted to it. I don't know if you're chemically addicted, but I'm sure your body's used to it. So
How do you function? Like, what's your normal day if you're on ecstasy? I mean, anytime I did it, it was a party thing. It wasn't like I was going to like Subway to make sandwiches for people for 9 hours. You know, I mean, like that's got to be insane.
So
I can't even imagine that.
His daily functioning skills he wasn't able to fully understand instructions given to him. His concentration and attention were so
I
impaired
bet it felt pretty good.
that he was unable to follow anything anybody said to him. Like he just couldn't understand.
So how do you live?
were
Were people taking care of him? Like was he laying at his mom's house? Just laying there?
No, he's at
Like,
this is at a hospital, at a rehabilitation center.
I'm saying up until the point where he decided to try and get off of it. Was he like?
He
What
was normal. It sounds like.
was he normal on it? Because
apparently because he was partying and he said he just collapsed a few times.
Yeah.
That's why he stopped. So
yeah, but I'm sure.
I'm going to get that stumble checked out.
Remember when people were dying, but that was bad ecstasy, right? Like it was big. There was other shit in it that was causing people to like
make them heat up.
You would get basically
Your body
a heat
would
stroke
overheat.
or whatever.
Yeah.
So that wasn't because of the MDMA. That was the other whatever else was in the pill. Or was it just a MDMA reaction that you had because everybody's different?
Yeah, the chat room's going straight bullshit on this just because of the cost of ecstasy pills. But, I mean, I could see that. Ecstasy would be expensive. I don't know the going price of ecstasy.
I mean, this guy could have been rich. I don't know.
Yeah, it sounds like he would have had to have been
I don't know
in
how
order
many
to
rich kids you guys knew growing up, but they did a lot of drugs.
a lot. Well, the ones I knew died of drugs.
Because they had the money.
Also,
Yeah,
he
the
could-
ones I know died of
He
drugs.
could have been
drugs.
selling it and then just taking it and then
taking
just,
a cut. Yeah.
taking the dipping. Into
God,
a
come to
supply.
think of
I thought
it,
it read
the
how
one
he was
I'm
doing now,
referencing even is telling you that, Sam, died because of a sort of a pathway ecstasy. Yeah. Not that I think that's what killed this particular person, but that was their drug of choice.
Your body can be normal after, the worst shit has happened to people, and then over years they just rehabilitate, and then they go back to normal. Like severe brain injury and things, like people can get back from that. It takes a long time and a lot of work, but they can get back to normal. So it's not like this guy's going to be like that forever. The urban legend of the guy who took too much LSD and then now lives in a mental institution and thinks he's a banana.
I've
always
heard,
hear that, right?
I've heard that,
Banana
but
Man.
I've never looked it up. You know what I mean? Like,
Of course, yeah.
Because I think I'm just like most normal people. I'm just like, yeah, I think I can believe that.
It was stories that all our parents and then society told kids to keep them from doing hardcore drugs to scare them or whatever.
Yeah.
But whether that was real or not, I'm sure people. We know people have psychosis and stuff like that.
You've done ecstasy.
why'd you
No,
point at me?
No, well,
You've done ecstasy.
Yeah, I've done it.
I've done ecstasy. Sam's never done. Tom's never done it.
So me and Tom need to do it.
Not together.
cut that.
If you do,
Jack will make a song out of that.
Out of all the drugs I've ever done,
should go on my boat and do it.
I would do ecstasy. No,
I'll never get on a fucking boat.
I got
Freaking out
a
of
kid.
my-
I probably would never do it again. I'd never say
Oh, I'll
never,
never
but
do it.
I got a kiddo. But I
God, it's hot.
I
Massage
enjoyed
me.
it. I enjoyed the feeling is pretty
Yeah, the
awesome.
feeling is good.
And I don't like
I didn't like-
saying
I didn't like
that
the next
because
day.
like I'm not pro drugs. You know, I don't want people to think that at all. But
I am.
If I'm being honest to you, the feeling of doing it was very good. But it was scary because you didn't know what you were doing, and that's why you shouldn't, I mean, if it's controlled in a certain way, I guess, or if the person you can trust them, but...
Well, just like mushrooms, it's all about the microdose of it, right? It's like you start super microdosing MDMA or whatever to get like the feel of it, or like that's going to help you and benefit or whatever. So that's what everybody's doing now. So that I see like, all right, I'd try that, but a full pill, I don't have a freak out.
Well, we should probably go to break just because we got only a couple minutes before our guest.
We can totally do that. We can totally do that.
We'll finish news after our guest.
Yeah, we're trying new things.
I don't know if
doing different things.
I'm going to have to leave it too.
No, that's fine.
All right.
Not that good.
The name of the band. Yeah, a little low energy today. Kind of negative story.
It's because you all burnt me out on the one before.
I 4 out of 10. I give it. I give it a 4 out of 10. The karate video with you punching Jim Henson, that's a 9 out of 10. You can bring that shit all day long. I'll watch you beat up old men. I won't say I like that you're doing it, but I'll laugh at it.
Why? You don't like that I'm doing it.
Why?
It's just kind of mean and weird. It's weird.
Seth also texted me. He's like, I want to be on the 666 show.
That's important to me. Every time I hear the show number, I'm like, how close is it to 666?
And then I'm like, all right. I guess
one person
10 shows away.
One person said they like your news. See, hey,
that's all that matters.
All you need is one.
All you need is
paying
one.
some bills.
The name of the band, Future Perfect Sound. The name of the song, Got Nothing to Prove. This is fun. We'll be back with more on Media Overtime with Tom and Dan momentarily. 1-844-TOMNDAN.
Woke up at night on the wrong side of the bed.
Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, and DM Chevy. If you are in the market for a brand new vehicle, well, we have 2 great places, actually 3, for you to check out.
Yep. Someone went by and talked to Mike Stacks and got a Subaru, BDM's wife, and then sent me an email. We're sending them a little gift pack. You could also register to get a free plant through Gabriella Plants.
I love it.
It's right there on tomandan.com. But we appreciate you seeing our sponsors and talking to Mike Stacks and JC Harrelson. He's going to be over at Don Mealy Chevrolet in Claremont. But it's hard to find a vehicle right now. The inventory is low.
You
right?
need somebody. I mean, like,
yes,
chances are if you reach out, you just throw an email to somebody, you ain't going to get anybody because they don't have anything to sell you.
Yep, and you need someone working for you when you're trying to get a car. And I know that I talked to the people over at DM Chevy and at Sport Subaru, Sport Mitsubishi, and Don Mealy is not going to raise his rates above or his prices above MSRP.
Oh, yeah.
And other dealerships are doing that, and he wanted to let us know that he's not going to do that to you guys or to his customers.
It's really frowned upon.
But the market is crazy right now. So the best thing to do is talk to Mike Stacks over if you want to buy a Subaru or Mitsubishi. Mm-hmm. They're right there on West Colonial Drive.
JC will have you covered if you want any Chevrolet. If you want a Corvette, I mean, man, my neighbor's got one. It's freaking amazing.
You want to get on that list for that new electric Silverado?
Oh, yeah.
They got some cool stuff coming. Go and talk to our sponsors and talk to Mike Stacks and JC Harrelson. Welcome back to A Mediocre Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan, and this is super duper, really, really cool. And I know that this means a lot to you because you're a mega fan.
Yeah.
So to hear this name kind of slide across our desk is amazing.
Well, how this happened is we heard our sponsor, the Orange County Library System. They do a lot of really cool stuff. By the way, get your library card.
Yeah.
What they offer is amazing.
Yeah, you have a world of freedom and knowledge right at your fingertips. And yes, it is free.
And then I heard that they had a guest, and they're going to be doing a live stream keynote at their Chickasaw branch of the Orange County Library System. And that's going to happen tomorrow, February 5th, from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. And you can go there and actually talk to our guest that I'm a huge fan of, Les Stroud. How you doing, Les?
Hey, I'm good, guys. How are you guys doing? Good?
Great.
Not bad at all, man. Thanks for the time.
First, let's talk about the children's book you wrote, which I got to get for my sons, and it's Wild Outside, Around the World with Survivor Man. So when did this start? How did this come about, Les?
Oh, I guess it started with a relationship with Anik Press in Toronto, Canada. A couple of years ago, we were looking at different possible books I could write for them in the children's world. And in the end, we not to use this word in a negative sense, but we kind of defaulted to, okay, well, you are Survivor Man and, you've already got, your Survive Manual out there and other books like that. can we do something directed, right at the kids, sort of 7 to 12-year-olds, 7 to 14-year-olds? And I had a blast, just such a blast doing it, because I wasn't writing it to adults. I was writing it to the kids. And this was to be a book of my experiences and all sorts of other things with it. But yeah, that's how it started. It was just this conversation with Annick Press until we landed on what to do.
That's awesome.
So let's talk about Survivor Man, because I was a huge fan of the show, and I think I've seen all the episodes.
We got to a point in our day job, we were working morning radio, where you and I would get bored, and then we would spend the rest of the morning Googling your videos and just watching, and because we wanted to try and figure out how he was able to do it. Do you remember that portion of time when we were like, how is he getting the footage?
Yeah, so let's just go back to the start of Survivor Man and the idea of filming yourself in the wild. And so how did that come about? And then I got a bunch of questions after, though, but we'll start there.
Well, I mean, it was really quite simple on my part. Having been an instructor for about 15 years or so, that includes learning to become one.
Sure.
I really just, at one point, just wanted to do home instructional videos. I mean, literally when I was first thinking about it, I would have been making VHS tapes. But years passed by and time went on until eventually it just seemed like the time was right, and I made a call to a network and said, listen, I'm a lone guy, and I'd already started, I'd done lots of film work, so I can put my filmmaking and my survival instruction together and come out with this sort of odyssey of how to survive in the wilderness. And there was absolutely nothing like it on television. It just didn't exist. I mean, Survivor Man, essentially was the zeitgeist for the entire genre that we now know as survival TV. So it was an interesting place to be as a creator, because I was up against people saying, well, here's a great quote for you. This is something that one producer said to me when I was pitching her Survivor Man. She legitimately said, Les, and she was very condescending, no one's ever going to want to watch people surviving on television.
That is hilarious.
Yeah, oh yeah. And I just thought in my head, oh no, you're missing this. You're not getting this. I walked down the hallway. The next producer said, you're kidding. Jill passed on this? Yeah, let's give it a try.
That's insane.
It literally sparked a huge, entire genre that's still going on. And Les, I got to ask you about this. Were you a part of at all the Netflix Alone show that because I watched the whole thing and I'm like, this is what Les Stroud used to do. They're taking what
still similar.
So did they? Are you familiar with that? And did they, talk to you and get your expertise when it comes to that kind of thing?
It's even better than that. So cool little backstory to it, and I'll keep it really brief. But at one point, I met about 8 people who were on the show alone, and I met the head instructor, survival instructor for the series.
Yeah.
And that's when I found out that, in fact, you know what they do to prepare for Alone? They go to a thing called boot camp and you know what they do at boot camp? They watch the entire series of Survivor Man.
Really?
I'm not kidding you. This was out of the words of the mouth of the head instructor for the series Alone. And so, we could go on and on about, all these other shows and all that. I'll right out of the starting gate, I will point one thing out. It's unfortunate that the stories that are told on that particular series are not the stories that actually take place out in the woods. But that's not to diss the people themselves, because the people who are actually on Alone are going through it. Some of them are phenomenal survival people.
Right.
They're doing really great things, but the producers get it, and you know how it goes. They get it back to Los Angeles and they cook up a whole different story.
Right.
So it maintains my point that, everything after Survivor Man was staged and bogus.
Yeah. Well, to bring that up, I was going to talk to you about during when Survivor Man was on and I was watching it, and then it spawned off a bunch of offshoots of other survival series and survival TV.
And I did it backwards. I watched another one, and then you told me, you're like, no, you got to watch this guy.
And then Les, and then of course Bear Grylls, and was another that was kind of in my mind when I was watching you guys, I was like, oh, Bear Grylls is the other guy that's doing it like Les, but I always looked at you and Les is doing it for real.
Yeah.
Bear Grylls is kind of more of a reality show.
And then it
Someone's
became
following him.
Chevy Ford, in people's houses. You know?
During that time, Les, did you have any contact with Bear Grylls, or was there any sort of beef at all, or is it just you were doing your thing, he was doing his?
Kumite fight.
How deep you want to go down the rabbit hole? I'll keep it fairly brief for you. Contact with him? Why would I? He was an actor. And I was a serious survival instructor who happened to also be a filmmaker, and I put the two things together.
Yeah.
Beef and situation. Well, in fact, when it first happened, my lawyer said, "Do we want to sue them?" Because they legitimately lifted my whole format. But what they and then they went on to basically stage and create and produce nonsensical stuff when it comes to actual survival instruction. Remember, I came from being a teacher. I'm teaching survival. So to me, I was still very passionate about it.
Yeah.
And then along comes all these guys who are just acting their part. Then they recruit other actual teachers, but they drink the Kool-Aid and get them to act the part. So you get into Cody and dual survival and all that. So no, a beef. Was I stung by it? I'd be lying if I didn't say at the time, yeah, of course I was. Like, you're kidding? I had my format ripped off, and then they faked it all. And then they pretended that they were actually doing it. So sure, there was a time, you can say, oh, he sounds like he's still kind of pissed about it. Well, in a way, yeah, but I mean, certainly I've grown up and I'm way past it, but that's the truth of how it all was going down.
Yeah, and you're allowed to still, I mean, it may not bother you anymore, but you're still allowed to be irritated by it because it's still reality in what happened.
And for Les, I feel like you, from coming from a place of instruction and you wanted to get out real information, and then you see a guy squeezing an elephant turd to get and then you're, and you're
is
like,
that part of the knowledge base?
You're just Steve-O now. Like, you're just drinking turd water for entertainment. And it's like, and then, of course, I remember the time when the internet blew up with pictures of like Bear Grylls standing next to a highway where they were filming, and they're like, and then it started being like, oh, he's a fraud.
Yeah.
And then I feel like people then started saying like all these shows are frauds, and then I'm like, no, Les is real. He's doing it for real.
Yeah.
And did you, when that whole thing came to light and people did start seeing these other survival shows for what they are, did anybody try to like discredit you in any way, or like investigate
you
to make sure that you were doing it for real, because you were, right?
I was absolutely doing it for real, right from the very beginning, right to the very end, and 22 years really of doing it. And sure, a few people came along and said, "Oh, it's got to be a bunch of nonsense. He's not doing it for real." But in the end, here, I'll tell you a really cool. I've never told this story before. There was a moment, for example, when before, say, Bear was found out to be staying at hotels and stuff like that, where I was arguing with one of the head producer at Discovery Channel. I said, okay, you because the networks like to claim ignorance. They don't really want to know what's happening over there. They just want the show, and then they promote it. So there's a disconnect there, right?
Yeah.
And I said, listen, John, you do know that whole thing is faked, right? And he's, no, I said, okay, I'll tell you what. I want you to call Men's Journal magazine. You get them, and I'll even pay for them to come to a location to watch me film. They can surprise me. Just show up on location and do the same thing with Bear Grylls, and then you tell me. And he wouldn't, he's like, well, and he wouldn't go for it, right? But my case in point was, remember, it's like kind of like, I don't know, it's like saying, like in the old days, I forget who it was, The Amazing Kreskin. It was like, I'll give anybody $25,000 to prove that I'm not doing what I'm doing.
Right. Amazing Randy,
For a time there, I was like, you know what? Surprise me. Show up in the middle of the where I am, and you will see that, well, where's Les? Well, he's out there shooting his show, and there's nobody out there. None of the other shows could do that. So, sure, there was some naysayers on me, but they couldn't go very far with it because I actually was doing it.
Yeah, right. And what people didn't realize is the amount of work you did behind the scenes and your team did with scouting the location and making sure everything was safe, because that's another part of it too, is like you want to put yourself in, you're putting yourself in a dangerous situation, but you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you can get hurt or killed.
Unsolvable task.
That would be bad for everything. I mean, even for the lesson of survival too. So it's like you were really smart about it, and you were.
It all comes back to the educational aspect.
Exactly. So,
well, and if you think about it, here's my bar. My bar was, I had dozens of survival cronies, buddies of mine, men and women who are amazing survival teachers. I had to know that they could watch the show and not go, Les, what are you doing? And I wanted to keep the respect of, I'm teaching really great stuff here and real stuff. So sure, I wasn't scaling off cliffs, because you wouldn't do that. Right. And I think if people watch the other episodes, the other shows, Alone, Naked and Afraid, Man vs. Wild, Dual Survival, on and on it goes. And if they know that it's all fake, just like watching the WWE, they know this is all scripted and set up. Great. Enjoy the entertainment. But if you're watching thinking, oh my gosh, no, they're really in jeopardy there, that Cody London and no, then it's like, well, wake up and smell the coffee, because that's not what's going on.
Right.
So, Les, speaking of that Netflix series Alone, is like, okay, the guy that won, okay, I don't want to spoil it, but he shot a buffalo, or not a buffalo, it was, I forgot the animal that was up there.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this.
What kind of, it was like a muskox, right? I think, Les, and he shot a muskox with an arrow, then tracked it, and then stabbing it to death. It was crazy. And I was like, is that real? Like, did he really do that?
Right.
And so, do you know anything about that, if that was real or not?
I can only comment on the peripheral, because I haven't seen that, haven't watched that. But what I can say to you is, think about it in the scope of making a series for television where you want to make a lot of money.
Yeah.
At some point, if you look at what I did, for example, I might get, this show's kind of boring. Do you have any idea how boring it is to be out in the middle of the woods for 7 days alone? It's very boring. It's crushingly boring, right? Well, producers with money on the line, lots of money on the line, they can't afford to have that happen. They have to have content that is ta-da! It's exciting. So you really think that even a show like Alone, and again, this is never going to be a diss against the people on the show. A lot of those people are really trying hard to be part of something and actually survive.
Sure.
But around them, the production side of it is completely all like, okay, well, let's put this person over there because we know we can get that to happen, and let's do that. So they're setting this all up in ways to create a story that they want to be able to edit and put out. And so for getting a muskox with a bow and arrow, first of all, not even certain about the legalities of that, which means they probably, if you were asking me to guess on this, didn't see it, I would say they had to get an incredible amount of special permission. It was probably, I don't even know if you can legally even do that. They're a protected animal, so you gotta. But like I said, if you're watching for entertainment, go for it. But behind the scenes,
they shoot it out of a cage. They got a bunch of permits. It was like it was already old.
And you know what? I'm glad you kind of told us that. Like, it makes a lot more sense. Thinking about your show in the terms of you already coming from that world. You're in that world with all of your friends that do the same thing and like-minded from this educational aspect. It makes so much more sense that your show would be based on that and that alone, not the actor version of that, which is release the animal and kill it.
So, well, speaking of,
and you guys could, sorry to interrupt you there, Tom, but you guys could go down, the rabbit hole you can go down in all the things that are done behind the scenes. It's thousands of situations. I was just in Belize. I was filming my Wild Harvest series, actually, a new series on PBS. I was filming it in Belize. And while we were there, I happened to be with the guy who was the Belizean fixer for Bear Grylls' show that he did in Belize. It was his son that built the raft that Bear used. And when Bear turns to the camera saying he's eating this snake that he caught, it is actually Kentucky Fried Chicken he's eating.
He's eating Kentucky Fried Chicken. Oh, come on. Hold on.
And shout out to PBS. My wife works for PBS, so good luck with the new show, man. That's awesome.
Well, on PBS, I got Wild Harvest, which is a local foraging. Again, I'm just teaching again, right? Teaching wild edible plants, right?
Yeah, it's real
I got
stuff.
Surviving Disasters, which is a pledge special at the moment, which is really helpful for all the disasters going on. And I've got my film called La Loche, which is about actually a documentary about a school shooting and a canoe trip up in Canada. So I'm still very active. That's for sure. That's for certain.
Oh man.
Les, another thing that I think about you when I see these new survival series like that Alone, and I'm watching them do what you always did.
Other ones coming out too,
like filming yourself. You always did a brilliant job in telling the story, and I always thought this was super impressive because, like you said, you had the skills to survive out in the middle of nowhere for 7 days, but you also had amazing videography skills.
Well, you had B-roll for days, and I'm like, how does he do this? I was like, is he going backwards and putting a camera up and just filming the canoe? Like,
I'm not joking. I make the joke on the show all the time about something that I make fun of that bothered me was when you have the shot of you walking away from the camera. I always thinking, or when I was watching Survivor Man, in my back of my mind, like, oh no, he's got to come all the way back and get it. And it would always bother me because, and then I'm like, man, he's doing a tremendous amount of
dedicated. He's doubling up everything.
Yeah, he's doing a tremendous amount of work just to get that a shot of him walking away from
because he's not just a survivalist, he's got that creative film brain on there.
So how was that as far as like putting together the shots, because it was always done really well?
Well, thank you. And you're right. You tapped right into it there that I had to be of a split mind out there. I had to be the guy trying to survive for real in those scenarios and situations. And I had to be the filmmaker and tell the story and capture the story. And there's a lot of labor, a lot of effort in doing that. But the passion, it would trade off a lot of times. There'd be times where the survival was really tough and my filmmaking would suffer because it's like, oh man, regardless of filming, I got to get this roof up. It's going to be raining tonight. And there were other times when it'd be like, you know what, it's 70 degrees and the sun is shining and I just got some berries that I'm eating. And so then I'd be like playing with the camera angles and really filming well. So it was always a yin and a yang, pulling back and forth between being a filmmaker and being the guy teaching the survival stuff. What I did was beyond setting up the scenario. And over the years, it got even more fun to look and say, okay, what else would happen? Oh, well, people get stuck in cars. Okay, I'm going to get myself stuck in a car for 4 days and see. So I could set the scenario, set the scene up, and then it's like, drop me in there. And then I go with it. I just go with that scene. So everything else from that moment on is what. And I'm basically always saying, hey, I'm you. And here's what you could do if you were stuck in this situation, rather than me saying, I'm survival guru guy, watch me be a hero. Obviously, there were skills that I had and there were things I could do really well. But I tried to, I wouldn't downplay them, but if I could ever do something I'd never done before, I would not practice it. I would do it on camera, just like you would if you got stuck. But you're right. It was always a challenge to be both the filmmaker and the survival instructor at the same time.
And that's almost three brains, because you're having to do educational survivalist, in telling the story and helping people to learn what you're doing. Then you have to do I'm really surviving, which is real. And then you're having to do filmmakers just sitting over here like, let me pick the angles. That's crazy,
Les,
man.
did you ever just leave a camera? You're like, screw it. I'm not walking all the way back for it. I'm leaving it. It's done.
Get that GoPro.
I did actually twice. I walked away from my gear when the Jaguar chased me out of the Amazon jungle. I walked away from the gear and I told the crew, you guys got to go back and get it, man. I couldn't bring it all. And then I walked away from the gear in Utah Canyonlands. Same thing. I had a big, long hike up a big, huge hill. And that's, by the way, that was one episode where people thought they caught me. They caught him cheating, sort of thing. Because, look, we see where he was. He was pretty close to the road. And I said, yes, I am close to the road. That's not the point. I'm down in the valley, and I'm isolated for a week doing this thing. Could I walk out? Yes, of course I could walk out. I said that in the beginning. And I've done that in a few places where I've said, theoretically I could walk out of this, but that's not what I'm here to do. So, that was the reality of it. Sometimes I was helicoptered in, sometimes I boated in, sometimes I walked in, which means I could walk out. So it was actually, there was a lot of fun to it in many ways for me. That's for certain.
There was another part too where I see nowadays the cameras are lighter. People have GoPros with extended batteries. You were doing it with DV camera, heavy ass equipment.
DV,
So it's how heavy was the equipment that you had to lug around when you were doing Survivor Man?
Well, the very beginning was my bad. I tried to use higher quality camera gear, and I actually had shoulder mount cameras, like Sony Beta, Digi-Beta cams and stuff like that. Just ridiculous. And really, I did, Survivor Man happened in the era that was just perfect for me to make it happen. It was just pre the amazing cameras that are small, but it was in the process of making them small. There was a camera called a Sony VX1000, I think it was called, and it had a quality to it. It was still, I think it was still high 8 film. Was it? Maybe it was the next generation after high 8 film. And here's a funny thing behind the scenes story, is that the networks at the time had a quality control rule that you were only allowed to use 10% of your show with consumer grade camera. But they were a little behind the times because the new small cameras, consumer grade, prosumer grade, were actually pretty good. So I would just lie to them and say, oh, no, this was shot on Sony Digi-Beta Cam, and it's, 90%. And I think I got away with it right until halfway through season 2. And then a QC at Discovery Channel said, hey, these lines don't match up. He's not using big pro cameras. And by that point, I just turned to the executives and I said, well, You don't have to have me make the show. But it was already a hit at that point. So they just told the QC guy to shut up. It's like, fine. It's Les Stroud. It's Survivor, man. He can shoot on what he wants to shoot on.
Man,
you are right. It's way easier today.
You've answered a question I've always wondered if they had a problem with getting prosumer or consumer grade stuff, because I know they hate that. Even here, when they ask for an air check or something, we'll send them something from our stream, and it's just, it's not good enough. Sorry, can't use it. And it's like, well, where are you? Because the rest of the world is moving on with stuff that's, like smaller.
Well, I was always a really big believer that content is king. Content will always be king. Yeah. And so you have something amazing, a great story shot and told on some small Sony or Canon camera or something like that, versus a crappy, boring, no story in there at all, or made up nonsense shot on amazing cameras. I'd rather watch the former.
So, Les, you already mentioned the Jaguar episode where you had to leave where you were because the Jaguar was literally stalking you. And I know there was an episode where they made you bring a rifle because of polar bears, and then they wouldn't let you go because of safety. But was there, at any time filming, was your life actually in danger at any time, or it get close, or like, I pushed it too far, anything like that?
Close calls.
Yeah, I'd say 50% of the time I was in a scenario where if something went wrong, I was done. Like, say I got bit by a furtillant snake in the Amazon jungle. Nobody's coming to get me. They're not supposed to come and get me for 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, however long it was. So 50% of the time it was definitely like that. The closest calls was the heat stroke in the Kalahari episode, but the closest was hypothermia in the Norway episode after I spent 4.5 days in the car. Then I was to hike down the mountain, and I miscalculated that hike. And the only time I really got in trouble or get in trouble is when I got cocky. I was like, I'm Survivor, man. What could go wrong? And then I'd get in trouble. And that Norwegian episode going down there's stuff we didn't even include, like that I was, because I was really, really, I was in a lot of peril there, and hypothermia can kill you, and that was the closest I came to being in big trouble. But I will counter this by saying the reason why I really, other than Norway and maybe Kalahari when I got caught off guard by heat stroke and hypothermia, the reason why I didn't really get in big trouble is because I'm a survival instructor. I know what I'm doing, and what I'm doing is very calculated, very calm and cool and collected. I didn't take chances, and that's what I was there to teach. Come out alive.
Yeah.
Right? And so,
well, Les, I'm curious in the
fact... I think I just got to clear my plans to come to this thing at the library, Sam. I'm coming to... It's your location.
Yeah.
Again, it's the Chickasaw location in the Orange County Library, Saturday, February 5th at 2 p.m.
Yeah, man.
But, Les, do you... I'm sure you've thought about this because of the nature of the show, but did you ever think, okay, if I get bit by a snake or something poisonous, or you are well aware of what is in the area that could kill you, do you film it? And do you put the camera on yourself if you know, you said they can't get in here on time? Maybe I could call for them.
I don't know.
I know I don't want to be morbid.
He's a filmmaker.
But did you ever think about
content is king?
Do you put the camera on if you got bit by a snake and let it film your death? I mean,
oh my God!
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you. Assuming that I'm lucid. Not to play the hero, but the short answer is absolutely. But I have proof of that, because when I went to film in Mongolia, we were just on the way to the location where they were going to drop me off, and I ended up in a very bad car accident. We rolled the Jeep at 50 miles an hour sideways twice, full rollovers, and when we landed, we came up, and I was the only one in the car that was injured. I had 3 broken ribs, a punctured lung, 2 dislocated shoulders, and a concussion, and torn muscles everywhere. And the first thing I said, because one of the things that I had that people thought they caught me on, but I always said, no, I have a Max, my faithful cameraman guy. He would be out getting shots of the birds and the bees and the sunrises and the sunsets, right? Yeah. First season I did everything, including all the B-roll. But in the second season I had Max shooting that stuff. Well, here we are now, years later. We're in Mongolia. We're on our way to a spot. We're going to drop Les off in this location. He's going to spend a week surviving in Mongolia. Okay, great. We have this big car accident. I'm wrecked up. The first thing I said to Max when he comes over to the car was, Max, camera. And it's all shot and it's on my YouTube channel. You can go watch that whole scene where I was in that car accident on my way to film a Survivor Man episode, and we ended up just putting the kibosh on the whole. I had to come back to Canada, and I went back a year later and finally filmed it. But case in point, I absolutely said, just start rolling the camera. Meanwhile, I'm doubled over in pain,
Well, Les, it's been a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, thank you, man.
I do have one last question, and this is just because I've been a fan of you and always wondered this, because you look like you're so comfortable being alone, right? And and there's a certain enjoyment about being like out in the middle of nowhere and surviving and relying on yourself and stuff. But also you're a celebrity, which is like counterintuitive to liking being alone, or maybe you don't like it, or maybe you're just okay with it. But how is that? Being okay with being alone for so long,
recognizable.
But then also you are a celebrity because of what you do.
Well, the easy answer is, first of all, I'm actually quite a gregarious person. And being alone, if you pardon the expression, being alone sucks. I hated being alone. But the creation part of it, I love being alone. I'm better as a creator in those scenarios. I mean, I also done many other films and things with teams, and I just love that. My Beyond Survival series, we had an 8-person crew, but and I love that too. But there was just a thing, right? So Survivor Man, to be effective, to be what it was, it had to be me alone, or there's no story there, because the cameraman's going to offer me, a Mars bar, and the producer, she's going to come over and say, can I give you a sandwich? And I'm going to say yes, and we're just going to, it wouldn't work. Yeah. So there was facility to me being alone. This is the only way that Survivor Man could have happened. But truth be told, the aloneness can be crushing. There were times, there was, I'll go a little emotional and personal in it. There was a period of time where during the filming Survivor Man, I was divorcing my wife. So those particular shows, like the Alaska episode, the aloneness was crushing.
Wow.
And it gets you in a very rough spot.
Wow.
So no, I never actually liked being alone filming Survivor Man, but I enjoyed the aloneness of my creation of being a filmmaker. Everything was on me, sort of thing. Couldn't blame anybody else for not getting the shot, right? So it was all on me. And then for the fan stuff and that, I got to say, what's been cool about being Survivor Man in the public is that I'm not a politician, so people only ever come up to me saying things like, "I love what you do, man. Hey, I grew up watching your show. I'm in the Marine Corps because of watching your survival show. I'm in environmental science because of yours." I get not hundreds, even thousands now of letters like that. And I'm very proud of that. And I will shake every hand and pose for every photograph and sign every autograph for the rest of my life, because they're only ever saying they like what I did. So I'm not going to be a jerk. And
has anybody ever said, you saved my life because I used some of the...
Many times.
Really?
Many times. There's been plenty of news stories on that as well. Sometimes I won't even know. I'll see it in the headline. It'll say, "Got man lost for 5 days in a snowmobile in northern Canada. Credits Survivor Man for skills that kept him alive."
Wow.
That's awesome.
That's really cool.
And then that kind of makes everything worth it. I mean, because saving one life is insane. A lot of people can't say they do that, and your show did that for this person.
I've only ruined one life, and that's mine.
Well, Les, thanks so much for talking to us today. Yeah. Again, you can see Les live stream keynote is going to be at the Chickasaw location, the Orange County Library System.
Indeed.
Again, tomorrow, February 5th at 2 p.m. Les, thanks so much for talking to us today. Big fan. And
if you're in Orlando ever, and we'd love to have you stop back by and tell more tales, man, because this is
I'm actually in Orlando. I am on occasion, probably once a year, because of the Wild Harvest series. My presenting station is WGCU out of Naples, and so I come down through Florida to hang with them, and I'm planning on shooting a show in the Everglades. So I'll be down there. I'll be down there for
Tom's
sure.
family used to airboat the Everglades sideways.
There's all pythons down there now. It's all pythons.
Try to capture.
We'd love to see you, and thanks again for the time. And
grab his book.
Grab the book, and thanks again, man. We really appreciate it.
Hey, it's my pleasure, and I'm looking forward to tomorrow, and thanks, guys. I appreciate it.
All right,
thanks,
man.
Les.
We'll talk to you soon. That is Les, live from what appears to be a rugged man cave.
Well, everyone loved that interview, but they're mad we didn't ask about Bigfoot.
Come on, I'm sorry. I wasn't reading the chat as much.
Tom was going on, so like he had his thing going
get out of here, Chad. I'm not going to ask a grown man that is a professional.
He did a special on Bigfoot.
That's ridiculous. Bigfoot does not exist. They paid him. He said, all right, I'll do it. Or
hey,
something
that was a lot of fun. Thanks to the the library.
hooked us
I'm going
up.
to tell you something about the library.
They shout out to Aaron.
They have only been good to us, and I don't know why.
I know.
They have only been.
I get it to read.
I love.
Don't say that.
I always question what that place is when I walk by it. What is this
Look
place?
at question what a library is.
What is this place?
Just stop. But I love. They are always helping us out. Thank you, OCLS. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
Yeah.
All right.
And again, Les Stroud's book is A Wild Outside Around the World with Surviving.
Yeah,
I'm going to
you
have
can
to
go
grab
on Amazon,
that.
yeah.
I'm going to have to grab that. I'm going to have to pick that up. That was super cool. All right. Where are we at?
That's it. I think we're out of here.
That it?
Yeah, let's end on a high note. That was great.
Yeah, that was super fun.
So, Semantics, what do you got going on?
Yeah, me and my husband will be recording this evening for Semantics. That'll come out this Sunday. Go to semanticspodcast.com for everything Semantics. You can buy a t-shirt that Tom is wearing if you're watching Twitter.
Yeah,
You
Show
see
your
that.
titties. Show your titties.
Look at that.
We have...
How muscly does he look?
I'll be
right?
out
He
at
looks
the Brewers Bash in Cocoa Village tomorrow. I think we're going to record our after party out there.
Cocoa
So if you-
Village?
Yeah.
Is that a swingers? What is that?
Yeah, Cocoa Village Brewers Bash.
That sounds
A lot
fun.
of CBEs are going to be volunteering out there.
Nice.
So if you see me out there, come say hi.
And I got the itch for a beer fest. The weather just like, I want to walk around with a tiny cup.
Yeah,
it
it
just
should be
feels
good.
right,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like this weather is tiny cup weather. They can walk around and get a little...
You can sign up for my Patreon, patreon.com/semantics. You can follow me and subscribe on Twitch, twitch.tv/semantics media. And you can come to my 5-year anniversary party for Semantics on February 20th.
You got your own
At Rock Pit Brewing.
beer, son.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And,
I've seen go by. And
Eric Pabone did the art for that beer can.
Yeah, and
is it going to be only available at Rock
Yes,
Pit?
it's going to be on tap and available in 4-packs.
And will it be released the day of the
Yes,
anniversary?
February 20th.
February 20th, so write that down.
Perfect.
We're out of town, I think, right?
Yep, you'll be camping.
We'll be
We'll be
in,
camping. But I want that beer.
Conveniently always missing my
I want that.
events.
I've been
I'd rather
before.
be at the brewery.
I've taken photos and stuff. I like you. It's Tom that hates you.
Yeah, I know.
No, listen, I'd rather be at Rock Pit enjoying cool beer than out in
Stuck in the
shit
woods. Are you guys going to do Survivor Man out there?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my wife
Where
bought
at?
so
Where's
much
this at?
garbage. Like,
What did you got?
Oh, my
she went
wife.
out a camping kitchen.
Do you want to
and
hear
then-
this?
Camping
My wife
kitchen.
asked his wife how many bins they're taking. Bins.
Of what?
I said, what do you mean bins? I mean, we need one bin of all our stuff. Andrea said that Crystal has 9 bins.
She's got solar lights and the whole thing. I'm like,
Or she
where-
has a glamping.
She has a
Well,
screen room.
with
She
a bunch
told
of
me she has a skillet for boiling water and all these in a oven.
A camping coffee. She's like, I got a camping coffee maker.
Where's this at? Like what? Where?
Peace
Florida?
River. 'Cause
This is not camping.
Yeah, it's like glamping.
And then they take your stuff down there.
How are you going to take it all? You going on a canoe?
You don't. We used to
They
put
put-
all our gear in a canoe and then float down
We're
the river.
used to do that. In our 20s.
Well, what are you doing now?
Well, now it's just like they take you a bus and then you get an empty
A
canoe.
bus?
And then,
Yeah.
and then they bring all the shit in a trailer.
It's
and
what
there's
special needs people do.
There's like porta potties hidden in the woods because
Are there?
yeah.
I don't want potties, dude. Half the thing is shitting in the woods. I had this conversation with Maisie, and she's like, "Does more really come out?" Because
Wait a
I told
minute.
her
Oh yeah.
You're not shitting in the woods?
I am.
Well,
because I
you
told
can.
Maisie that more shit comes out when
Do
you
you
shit
want
in
to
the woods.
give your kids gritters? This
I
is
know,
all
but they won't
scam.
shit.
This
I'm
is
like,
all
oh,
scam.
hold it.
Hold on a second.
They'll hold it the whole time.
I'm serious, Sam. I did not know until this minute. There's some bullshit porta potties in the
That's
woods.
bullshit.
And I'm
Why
mad
even
now.
camp? Why are you
I
even
don't want the
camping?
porta potties.
Well, actually, I did. Tommy did diarrhea at school.
Excuse me?
I gave him an old hot dog. It was
You
slimy.
poisoned
I think
him.
that's where we need to leave. I think that's a
It
good
was
idea.
slimy veggie hot dog. And I smelled it. I was
Did he
like,
poop his pants?
Is this what this? No, he didn't poop his pants, but he usually doesn't go to the bathroom at school.
But he
and
had
then-
to,
And
yeah.
then he's like, I had to go number 3. And he's like, and then he had to go.
He already knows what a 4 is, too.
He didn't want to, but he had to
Sometimes
do
you
it.
gotta do what you
because
gotta,
I gave
Survivor
him
Man.
Slimy hot dog.
This is some fake ass camping.
Seth, how do people sign up
Well, if
for
you
your
want
dojo?
your kids to be champions
Oh.
and tournament winners and and post proud things on the BDM page like Riley's father did, then
Yeah.
you could come see me at the dojo, karateoforlando.com or Instagram Karate of Orlando. or find me. Whatever, just message me.
You okay, bro? You all right? You sound sad.
No, I'm good. I'm good.
What happened?
What do you mean? No, I'm fine. I'm happy.
Look, it's the
He's
goatee
mad we
fine.
took time away from him for Les Stroud.
Fine. I'm trying to figure out what's wrong with it. I figured it out.
You dye that, right?
You know why I figured it out? You know why I figured out what's wrong with it? It's a perfect circle.
I know it's too thick.
No, but it's like
it's the Sandman.
It's just like right here. It's like hello.
Yeah. You gotta shave the top. It's gotta be thinner.
No, the whole point is the top to be thick. That's 70s style when it's real thick up top too.
What's up the 70s?
Well, it is in my head.
And then you have no gray.
He's got a little bit.
Crazy. I'm the only person that keeps this shit real because all you other people out there, you get the just for men. You're brushing it in
I don't
there.
brush anything. I'm natural. I don't dye anything.
It's coming.
It's one good thing. I lost my hair, but I didn't get gray yet.
I noticed that your burns are going up.
I know.
You look like Spider-Man's boss.
Why do I?
Jonah Jameson? What's that? Jenna Jameson.
Some people they like it. You have gray goatee.
Yeah,
but
I got it right here.
Why did mine start on my burns?
I don't know. They're going up the side. We're gonna like. I want the scoop on Parker.
That's Johnny Knoxville style. Johnny Knoxville started there. He just went,
Oh, you can have the sweet.
The Wolverine, right?
Johnny Knoxville. Poor Johnny Knoxville got that hair now and a colostomy bag. Oh man, that's a bad way. Why? How'd you get that? Go. What are you famous for? Well, they beat my dick up.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next week. Yes, sir.
Oh, fellas. Look, wait a minute. I can't publish that. It's mediocre.